Hello. Awesome. Welcome to our game of Wishing Well for the Roll Bond second anniversary stream. Before we dive into our fun game of farming, I'd like to start by acknowledging the Ngunnawal and Ngambri people, the traditional owners and custodians of the land where I am recording from today. And I'd like to pay my respect to any elders past, present, and emerging, and extend that respect to any First Nation people and Torres Strait Island people who are listening. For the Roll Bond second anniversary stream, we are raising money for NARF, which is the Native American Rights Fund, the oldest and largest non-profit legal organization with a focus on asserting and defending the rights of Indian tribes, organizations, and individuals throughout America. So if you feel like spending some money for a good cause, please donate for that. I should tell you who I am. That would be helpful. My name is Remus. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me on Twitter and other places on the internet at The Lost Larrikin. Joining me today, we have Carter.
Hello, I'm Carter. I use he, him, or they, them pronouns. Tonight I am playing from the former and current lands of the Tsalagi, Cherokee, Chickasha, Chickasaw, Chatadyakni, Choctaw, and Muskogee Creek nations. Many of them were expelled to Oklahoma by the U.S. government in the 1830s, but federal and state-recognized tribes still remain.
Awesome. HB.
Hello, I'm HB. My pronouns are they, them. I am not recording this from any indigenous land that I know of. And yeah. I don't think I have anything to plug, and I don't really use my Twitter account, so I just like to give a quick shout out to all you modern day troubadours out there, and I think I know who you are.
Nice.
Sure.
Cool. Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily. I use she, her pronouns. Do I have anything to plug? My game is gonna be in the stream tomorrow. That's exciting. That's
Oh, hell yeah.
it. Life preserved, baby! Ghost Jam. That's it.
Nice. And January. Sure. Yep.
Uh-huh.
So we will be playing Wishing Well, which is a game by Riley Hopkins and is a hack of Stewpot by Takuma Okada. I'm sorry if I mispronounce names. And all of the art in the Wishing Well book is by Cody Hawley. And the wonderful Google Sheets we're using to play our game today are by Libby Horakek. And they're so cool.
It's so
Libby
good.
rules.
They're real nice. And they
This
work
game
well.
rules, actually.
Also as a point of order, I think it's Takuma Okada. But I could be wrong on that. Yeah, Takuma, like stress on the first syllable.
Takuma Okada. Yeah, that makes more sense. Cool. And I'll put the
And
link
Libby-
in the Twitch chat for the itch.io for buying Wishing Well, because it's fun. What were you
Heck
saying,
yeah, it
HB?
is.
Oh, and I think it's also Libby Horacek, but I'm
Horacek.
not positive on that.
Yeah, look, I've never been able to say words properly in my life, so
Mood.
here we go.
Let's talk a lot. It's gonna be great.
Yep.
We'll talk our way
So-
through it.
Would someone like to kick us off by reading the letter at the start of the Wishing Well book?
Oh, I can do it.
Sure.
Hey, hon. How are you settling in? Your dad and I miss you. We just got the last of your stuff from work. I don't know if I'd say they wished you well, but they told us to let you know that if you come back, you will have a job. Which is nice. We are so proud of you for going out and trying something new. This is a huge risk and a big challenge, but you can do it, especially with your friends at your back. If you need anything at all, please let us know. We are waiting in the wings to help, but we know you won't need it. We love you so much. Your sister says hello and wants us to wish you well too. Wishing you well, Dad number 1.
I just realized that this letter's gay.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
didn't last time. It's
Yeah.
like, your dad and I miss you, and it's also from Dad number 1.
Dad number
Why
1
did I
with
not
3
realize
exclamation points, I should say.
And a little
And a-
smiley, and then a little smiley emoticon at the end. It's very good.
Yep.
Oh yes, with a nose. This is
Mhm.
good. We need to say that.
Yeah, that's what makes it a dad emote.
In this game, we'll be playing a bunch of friends, mostly friends, who've inherited a farm on the outskirts of a small town. I say mostly friends because some of our player characters don't get along. Yeah. The game
Mhm.
itself is played through a series of mini games that represent different events and games that we'd like to experience in this town. So, shall we start? Nope, there's another thing we should read. Would anyone like to read the, like, welcome to your new home bit?
Okay. Welcome to your new home. Living today feels a lot like you're being crushed under the weight of capitalism. Every part of your life is controlled by trying to make enough money to survive, while finding a smidgen of hope and joy so you don't rot away. It's every day in, day out. But you've decided you've had enough. Your friends have had enough too. The group of you have left the city now with nothing but a letter and good vibes. You've been told to go to this new town out in the middle of nowhere, but you hope something is waiting for you out there. Something new and something beautiful.
Awesome. So, where's my sheet so I know what I'm doing? Basically, that introduces the premise of Wishing Well. It's very much Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, all of those sorts of games. We're escaping the gross world of capitalism to farm and live our cottagecore lives. Ooh.
This truly is our cottagecore ascension.
Yeah,
Can our audio be
extremely.
heard? Someone in the
Oh, no.
chat said a thing.
Oh no!
Ah,
Oh no.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm listening to the stream. I can't hear you at all.
Oh shit!
we love technical difficulties.
We love technical difficulties. You're so valid.
Quick, get your curses in.
Oh, what is the policy for cursing in this stream? I think it's allowed, but I have to.
I don't know.
You're still not audible now.
Cool.
For the benefit of the listeners, we are having a conversation with January, but you cannot hear her part of it.
Yeah.
Which is
We're
great.
getting-
We love
We're getting
that.
some exactly. We're getting some hot, juicy details that none of you will ever be privy to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'll find out about it. I believe you'll find out about it all in a best-selling memoir.
How about this? Is this happening?
Correct.
Am I audible now?
Fingers
Yes, you are.
crossed.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh.
Yes!
Delightful,
Yay!
delightful.
Okay,
Is,
good.
Is my audio weirdly unsynced
Yay.
is the other question I have. Is it like, am I talking at a weird time relative to everyone else? I guess there's no way to know that.
I
Who
have
can
no
say?
idea.
Well, let's assume
I
it's
guess
fine.
we'll find out.
If anyone yells at us... Okay, chat seems to think it's good.
It sounds fine.
Wait, should I quickly reintroduce myself? Because I didn't...
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
probably.
Do that again.
Yeah,
Who
hi
are you?
everyone. I am the problem member of the group. Hello. My name is January.
I will be, don't worry.
I use she, her, they, them pronouns. Really quick, I'm in Toronto, also known as Toronto, on the lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Huron-Wendat, and Mississaugas of the New Credit. Please donate to the Native American Rights Fund. Please support and stand up for local land defenders in your area. And yeah, as we play this game about farming, please think very carefully about land and its uses and the people who live on and near and around it and the stewards of the land that we live on. And yeah, let's farm.
Yeah. So,
Get ready to farm.
Ultimate farming.
let's introduce our characters. Shall we just go left to right?
Yeah, that's
Kata,
fine by me.
Yeah.
it's you.
Okay. Tonight I am playing Roz Yellen, who uses he/him pronouns. He is 5'8", has buzzed black hair, a crooked nose, a truly ludicrous variety of graphic tees, and started wearing trucker hats after the move and couldn't be convinced otherwise. As you can see on stream, the pit crew did not have trucker hats, but you know, we can always improvise.
It's so good.
Very good.
Thank you. I worked very hard on it, and by worked very hard, I mean I copy and pasted a thing off Google Images.
Dipper's hat
in
from
terms
Gravity
of-
Falls? Sorry.
Dipper's hat doesn't have the red.
Oh, you're
Brim.
so
Yeah.
right. You're so right.
I wish it was Dipper's hat. No, it's just a Pabst Blue Ribbon trucker hat.
Even better.
That's so good.
That's
Do
fantastic.
you want to share Roz's likes and dislikes, and then city and farm jobs?
Oh, yes, right. In terms of likes, he likes squirrels, shooting stars, straight and alcoholic ciders. He dislikes doing the dishes, wool fabrics, and motherfucking paperwork. Did you say we had to go over links or just jobs?
We'll go over links after we introduce all the characters.
Okay, cool. His enmity for motherfucking paperwork comes from his city job, as clerical staff, namely, the secretary for some city department somewhere. He doesn't like talking about it very much. And after having moved to this town, he has taken up being a mechanic, so that's his farm job.
Sweet. Yeah, I can go next. I'm playing Maple Treeway, who uses mainly its, but sometimes she, her pronouns. Before you ask, Maple Treeway is the name of a Mario Kart course, which is how I got the name. It's a very short story, actually. So Maple has long hair dyed bright red. It's white with freckles, pretty tall, 5'9", 5'10". It really loves long acrylic nails, sort of a like Scott Pilgrim hair color thing, but with like different acrylic nail colors every day. And it's like, how did it do that so fast? And Maple's like, I don't know. And then as far as clothing and fashion goes, Maple has a black leather jacket with like metal studs in it, sort of that classic style. Can always be found wearing that jacket. Also keeps a plastic purple flower in its hair. And then an important part of the description is that because this will relate to several of our characters' interactions, Maple also owns a cat. It has a large white Maine Coon cat named Pleasance. This is a big cat. We're talking like, not like
Oh,
world...
let me find the picture.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind sharing the picture. Not like world record breaking, but like big cat.
This is not a cat to be trifled with.
Not a cat to be trifled with. This is not a cat that will, this cat will not stop at knocking over the I don't know. I don't know what cats knock over. This cat will knock over many things. Maple.
Yeah, this cat.
I mean, my
counts as a
cat
small
knocked
gang.
the puzzle. My cat knocked my puzzle off my bookshelf twice
no.
after me fixing
No.
it between.
Oh no!
So
Oh,
Your cat just wanted you to redo the puzzle again to get the additional joy of solving it. Often doesn't work like that. Maple likes spicy food, scented candles, ambient noise music, which it like is kind of an amateur producer of, but not very good. And biohacking, another thing that Maple doesn't really know much about, but like enjoys the concept of. Dislikes customers who don't tip. We'll get to that when we talk about its job. Mountain goats, the animal. The mountain goats, the band. And scabs, both the kind on your skin and the gets in the way of organized labor action kind. As far as jobs, Maple's city job is manual laborer, which has a variety of meanings in the book. And I picked specifically because one of those is like delivery driver. I think Maple is like a kind of Uber Eats, like DoorDash, like delivered food gig worker driver. And its farm job is gardener. In the character creation, I describe Maple as the kind of person who is like, yeah, I've like had a couple succulents and that went pretty well, so maybe I just try doing a whole farm and we'll see how that goes. So that is the kind of person Maple Treeway is, and that's Maple Treeway.
nice. I will be playing Ellery Sage, who uses they/them pronouns. They've got messy lavender hair tied back. They're quite tall, about 6'5", and very lanky. They wear long denim overalls that are still too short and only go like halfway down their calves, and they often wear floral gum boots. They also have vitiligo and chronic fatigue. I myself have chronic fatigue, so yep. They like rain, fresh food, relaxing baths, and the hurdy-gurdy. They can play the hurdy-gurdy. Because hurdy-gurdies are great. And they dislike people who didn't turn it off and on again before calling IT. And the heat. They were in computer engineering before coming to the farm. Hence why they dislike people who don't turn it off and on again. And they're becoming a fisher. Yeah. HB.
I will be playing Ewan Bears, who does not have a reference picture. He uses he/him pronouns. He is, as I describe here, a round little fellow with a deep and abiding interest in the goings-on of the animal kingdom. He has this kind of scraggly beard and a beanie that, in combination, make him look a little bit sketch. He carries around a shovel he doesn't actually need as he goes about his day. And I think the thing is that he refuses to dress any differently for farm work than he did in the city.
Yep.
He did not change his wardrobe even a little bit.
Oh no.
And yeah, the things he likes are talking instead of working. He listens to air traffic control chatter, and he also likes other people's business. What he dislikes is water in every conceivable form, up to and including drinking it. And he also dislikes Maple's cat Pleasance. His city job was that he was a student, and his farm job is that he is a rancher. He takes care of the animals.
Oh dear.
Water up and including to drinking it. Yep, alright, cool.
Hate to
I know
quench
what
my thirst.
Just every time a Gatorade commercial comes on, it's just no.
Remember to stay hydrated.
Well, Gatorade's
everyone.
fine.
Unless you're Ewan.
What does Ewan eat? Drink, that one.
Yeah. What does he?
He drinks the same things everybody else does. He just doesn't like it.
Okay, so he'll drink water. It's just, not great. Wow.
Okay.
That's so valid. Okay, hi. I'm playing Mantle, or Manny, or Pebble, or Pebs, and all. Goes by he, him pronouns. He's a 6'8" absolute unit. Brick shithouse, butch lesbian. He is Filipino. He's deaf. He has big arms, lots of freckles. He's open. He's gregarious. He's protective. Just a big mom friend. And in terms of like him being deaf and stuff, so obviously I'm gonna be like speaking his lines, but he's going to be gonna be like signing them in. So if I ever accidentally say that he says something, just know that he's signing. And yeah. His likes are his dog Goose, who's this big mutt, kind of like mixed with an Irish wolfhound, probably. Food with lots of flavor, all of his friends, most of his family, board games, EDM, dancing terribly, rainy days, hiking, finding a perfect leaf on the ground, and helping people. Manny dislikes math, sadness, not being able to help, anger, and rudeness. He used to be in food service as a barista at probably a Starbucks or something. Absolutely hated it. Always wanted to be a chef. So now, on the farm, he's going to be a chef.
I just realized after hearing all that description that Manny is an entire foot taller than Roz.
Ha!
Good content.
Absolute unit indeed.
I win.
Every one of our characters is so tall, except for Ewan, but Ewan doesn't have a... Yep.
Does Ewan have a physical form? Besides scraggly beard,
Yeah.
you can say.
I kind of have a hard time picturing people in heights. I just like whenever I'm asked to describe a character, I describe them as like 6 feet tall, despite the fact that that's like actually pretty tall.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's valid.
But then the thing is,
6 foot energy.
I think Ewan is shorter than that. I think he's like I'm picturing him like 1.70 meters tall. If that makes sense to
Why
anybody on this
are
call.
all of the characters so tall?
Yeah, I was like,
We
I'm
all
gonna...
like. Yeah, sorry, you go.
No, I was gonna make Maple pretty tall, like 5'9", 5'10", and then it's like, boom, 6'8", let's go.
Sometimes.
1.70 meters is about 5'6".
Okay.
Jesus.
Which is average height.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's average.
Well, average height like differs on where you are in the world, but
That's
That's true. I did just want to play a character who looks at everyone and be like, "You're so small."
like for example, when I'm thinking of Ewan, I'm thinking like I'm a 1.76 meters. So that's like so I'm picturing somebody a bit shorter than me.
Oh, that's
Okay,
valid.
reasonable. What next?
So now that we've said who our characters are, we should talk about our links a bit. Did we want to just go left to right again and say the links?
Yeah,
Sure. Okay, so as you can probably see, there are 4 different types of links. There's light, dark,
we should
mastery, and
explain
heart.
what they are.
That's fine. Each of the suits basically corresponds to, well, not suits. I am reading the wrong section of the book. Each category corresponds to like different types of relationships. So this light link I have with Ellery. Light links are friends, partners, romantic partners, and some of our families. So people who are positive influences on our lives. So my light link with Ellery is that seeing excuse me, seeing as like one of us was like clerical staff, the other was like computer engineering. Between the two of us, we basically run the farm logistics together, and on our off hours, we bitch about our old city jobs together. So that's a fun time. This I guess I'll keep talking about the types of links. So I don't have any dark links, but dark links are rivals, enemies, some of our families, and people on the shit list. So people who are negative forces on the day-to-day. I don't have any dark links, emphasis yet. Sometimes you meet someone and it's on site. Mastery links are teachers, mentors, and students. So anyone with whom you are teaching or learning lessons explicitly. So my mastery link with Maple is that since it used to be a delivery driver and Roz is aspiring to be a mechanic, he is learning basic car stuff from Maple. Heart bonds are, I guess they're like the implicit version of mastery bonds. These people are examples, warnings, and heroes, looking at someone and unconsciously learning from them the street smarts to mastery's book smarts. So Roz's two heart bonds are with Ewan, who he looks to as a style icon, which may or may not be a good thing, but he sure admires Ewan for it. And listen, he's taken to wearing trucker hats like 24/7. I don't know if you can trust his fashion judgment. Anyway, and my heart bond with Manny is essentially momming the mom friend. He sees Manny and how he aspires to take care of other people, and so Roz practices mom friending on Manny, who doesn't necessarily always focus on taking care of himself directly. So it works out.
Yeah, I can pick it up from there with Maple's. So Maple has a light link with Manny, which is a just sort of like good, solid friendship, which is mostly based around the fact that they're pet pals, and they both have big pets. Big cat is friends with big dog. Pleasance and Goose are buds, and so are Maple and Manny. Maple has a dark link with Ewan for basically the same opposite reason, which is that Ewan really doesn't like Pleasance. And I don't understand what he's talking about. Pleasance is lovely and wonderful, and will only sometimes knock over everything that's on your shelves and also scream. That's fun. Maple also has two mastery links. One with Roz, which is the one we discussed around like cars and auto work. We are doing these links as sort of bi-directional, by the way. So that is is a thing worth noting, is that all the kind of links in one direction are also in the other direction. And then Maple also has a mastery link with Ellery, which is as a fan of noise music, wants to learn the hurdy-gurdy from Ellery in order to incorporate that into its music. So get some really good like post-electronic noise wave hurdy-gurdy music is the goal.
Awesome. So Ellery has a light link with Roz. They're friends. They probably do a lot of the like logistics and admin stuff,
Mm-hmm.
both when our characters were roommates before moving to the farm and now that they've moved to the farm.
You just keep going where you left off, just bigger now.
Yep. Ellery also has a light link with Manny. They're sort of just pals, just good friends. Ellery doesn't really dislike people. They're chill. A mastery link with Maple, because they're teaching it the hurdy-gurdy, and a heart link with Ewan, which I think is sort of like they both sort of unconsciously learn from each other, because Ellery's like hanging around the water a lot and sort of trying to show it's not that bad. But I think also learns a bit from Ewan as well. I don't think either
their
of them
dismay.
realize. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Let me just review Ewan's links then. So Ewan has 2 dark links, one with Maple and one with Manny.
King of the
With
dark
Maple,
links.
Oh, boy.
With Maple, it's for the clear reason that Ewan and Pleasance just do not get along. They absolutely just have like it's like kind of weird because it's almost like the rivalry is between Ewan and this cat. That then just kind of and like there's kind of and basically like his relationship with Maple takes splash damage from that.
I'm just imagining like in the farmhouse, you're just making death glares at the cat, and the cat's just glaring right back at you.
And I'm glaring on the cat's behalf.
I think with Manny, the dynamic is a little bit like I think Ewan doesn't like the idea of being somebody who needs a bomb friend. So like just kind of takes a halfway conscious, halfway unconscious approach of like kind of pushing Manny away when Manny tries to help him. And I think that's the root of that dark link there. Whereas with Roz and Ellery, Ewan has heart links. I think with Roz, like with Roz, I think it's like one of those like very lad-like relationships.
Yeah.
It's like we're lads. We're not especially emotionally vulnerable with each other, but it feels like we're both in each other's lives, providing something that might not be a bad example.
Well, it depends on how bad our respective sense of fashion is, but you know, that's not like necessarily a bad thing.
Oh yeah,
I'm still going with your characters being cousins.
Oh yes, right. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Right, because it's our grandparents who owned the farm. Okay,
Yep.
right. I completely forgot about that, my bad.
In a world of hurdy-gurdy instruction and pet rivalries, truly being a cousin is one of the least influential relationships you can have with someone.
Yeah. Like it's weird because if somebody's your cousin, you're kind of more alienated from them than you would be from a random stranger.
Yeah. I think that's depending on your family dynamic. I think that's a little true.
Well, at least in my experience, I guess.
That's valid.
It's like imagine if there's this one specific stranger you're expected to know better than the perfect stranger.
Yeah.
Then there's like and then there's a heart link with Ellery as well, which I think is like also similarly along those same lines. Like it's one of those things where they talk, but it's like at this kind of remove from each other.
Yeah.
Like not to the point where they're genuinely friendly to each other, but to the point where they hold conversations and presumably learn something from one another.
And I think
You get along.
Ellery doesn't get bothered as much by the things that Ewan does that bother other people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that tracks.
Ewan is fully nocturnal. He can't get up early, so he just stays up extremely late because he needs to get up early to feed the animals.
Oh boy.
Wow, that's what I would do, honestly.
You just
Ewan.
loop it right back around, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's just kind of inverted the schedule.
God. Okay.
Great.
Well, my light links are with Ellery and Maple.
Oh,
no.
we lost Craig.
We lost Craig.
Oh
It's
no.
Fine. I don't have much faith in Greg these days. I think we should just keep going.
That's valid.
Craig, the secret
We'll still
secret
have
player.
Alright.
We'll still have the recording of the like Twitch stream.
Okay, so the stream still
Oh,
has
okay.
audio. That's all fine.
Yeah, that's really what counts here.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Bye, Craig.
Bye, Craig. So the not bear apparently. So yeah, Manny's light links are with Ellery and Maple. With Ellery, yeah, we're just like chill pals, and I cook the fish that Ellery catches. And with Maple, yeah, again, we're chill pals who have big pets, so that's what we bond over. My dark link is with Ewan. Manny would not admit to having a dark link with anybody. But yep, dark link with Ewan. In parentheses, I have pensive cowboy emoji. I think Manny is just
Sorry, that got me.
Manny is just like, you know, wants to be the mom friend, and it's difficult when, you know, when someone doesn't want to have a mom friend, but it's like, oh, I want to help you out, and it's just like, no, and it's like, okay, so that's that with Ewan, and then part with Roz, we've already been over that, but basically, yeah, Manny is being mom friended, and is very confused by that, absolutely baffled. So,
But
yeah.
I'm supposed to, Mom? What has happened?
Exactly. I'm supposed to mom friend him. What? Not a lot. What? What's happening?
The War of the Moms.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, we have a farm. Yep. So
Do.
basically,
Yep.
Yep.
our characters
Well, that's a farm.
were
Job done.
roommates. Yep. I'm great at this. Our characters were
over.
roommates before coming to the farm. And the farm used to be Roz and Ewan's grandparents. And our farm is called Snow Peak Grange. And we're in Whisker Valley. That's the town's name. Because we didn't think of a better one.
Whisker Valley is the perfect
I think
name.
it's great.
I don't know what you're talking
I have no
about.
problem with it.
Yeah.
In terms of what the town's like, the townspeople are friendly enough, but are a little uncomfortable with us moving in. Ewan and Roz's grandparents left a sour taste in the town's mouth, but the younger folk are willing to overlook that and not hold it against us.
Did we ever
What was that?
decide what it was that the grandparents
No.
did? Or is it just like an unspoken incident TM?
Play
Makes
to
sense
find
for
out
some
what
incident,
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Good point.
I don't know.
Yes. Yes.
It's like one of those things where people are absolutely keeping score, but they would never admit that they're keeping score.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's very small town. I like it.
There's an anonymous pumpkin on the Google sheet. I just thought I'd say.
Oh my god.
We have a jackalope, a narwhal, a tiger, and a hamster, and a pumpkin.
Hell yeah, I'm the
I'm a
narwhal.
tiger.
Anyway,
shit, I'm the pumpkin. Wait, no.
I was taken aback because I was like, "What is this? That's not an animal."
It's good.
Anyway, moving on.
Dream hard enough.
Whisker Valley is a
Yes.
tight-knit community. Everyone in town has an important job. There isn't so much a grocery store as there is a guy who gathers stuff from everyone to give out. No doctor, but someone who knows first aid well. It's nestled in a valley between mountains on all sides. The sky just seems bigger here. There are hiking trails going up and down the hills. And we were meant to describe a specific mountain peak, but forgot to in World Gen. So we should do that now.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's
there's
do
no
it.
pumpkin now. The pumpkin's gone.
Oh.
It's now a chipmunk.
Oh, well.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
forgiven. It's okay.
This is like a reverse Cinderella
Um,
situation.
Exactly.
I don't know Cinderella very well. I assume the pumpkin carriage turns into a squirrel.
I think the pumpkin. It was a pumpkin into a carriage.
Details.
But you know what? Who's to
There's
say a chipmunk can't be a carriage for somebody? You know.
I have to say, there's
Anyway.
I'm just picturing like Cinderella, and there's like a formal dance, and there's just a pumpkin rolls into this formal dance, and the prince is just so fucking stoked,
Yeah.
eager to
He
see where
really
this is
likes
going. And then,
pumpkin.
Oh man.
and then Midnight turns into a princess.
God, that's so good. Okay. Should we all describe like a detail about a specific mountain peak?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
I feel like that tracks.
I feel like we could also kind of draw off like the reference image we have for the farm. Like,
For sure.
hang on, I'm gonna see about sticking that in a channel somewhere.
I can try
I
to
can do that
capture
if
it
you'd
on
like,
the stream if you
Because
give
I
me
have the
2
original.
seconds. Let me try to do this. I might mess with the stream for a second.
No, you're
Okay.
valid.
So yeah, that's the photo we have as inspiration for the farm. You will note the giant fucking river that's right next to it. Which I imagine Ewan just kind of glares at from the porch every morning and evening.
Yeah, so the last bit of like the town stuff we have is legends, which is the water is calm most nights. It's still unmoving dark. If you stare into it, you feel the terrible feeling of something peering back at you.
Oh, do we want to describe a mountain peak, or should we
We
move on?
should do that, but I thought I'd read the legends thing.
Yes, you're valid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that makes me picture like a volcanic crater lake.
Ooh. That's fancy.
Like, if you've seen like I don't know how many people in here have seen Your Name, but there's like a particular
yes.
There's a particular crater lake in that.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
there's
Yeah,
like
it's like
just actually was that a medium? Was that a
it
It's a crater
was
lake either
it
way.
was a crater. It was a crater, and it did have like not a lake in it, but it had a stream running through it. I can find an image.
Ooh.
I sent an image I found to the chat. Is that the sort of vibe you were thinking?
Pretty
Oh,
similar.
That's pretty.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, that's not a volcanic crater lake. That's like a different crater lake. But that is like
Ooh, yeah.
but yeah, that is the visual reference I was thinking.
I'd like
I just have
that
to
on
remember for a second.
Yeah, I'd like that as like a peak in the town.
So would we have like a volcanic crater lake sort of like the town is in that, or that's like off near the town?
I imagine, because like they specifically wanted a mountain peak, so I imagine like you can hike up to there from the town, and then like I don't know, have a swim in a dormant volcano.
Sure.
Well, actually, this is like Crater Lake. Like someplace literally
perfect.
called Crater Lake, and the difference between a volcanic crater and like just a general impact crater is that a volcanic crater has like the actually I guess it's actually a caldera. The crater is like the crater is like the inner thing, because like a volcano has the crater and the caldera.
Yeah.
Like there's the bigger one, and it's like it has this concentric effect to it.
Ah,
That's cool.
hell yeah.
So, which
I
kind
like
of fit-
the idea of this. Oh,
Go
here
on.
you go. I like the idea of sort of a big mountain in the middle that's like the center of town.
yeah, that is how volcanic crater lakes work. Well, caldera lakes, I guess.
You're saying the town's along the shores, and then there's that in the middle. Sort of.
Yeah,
I
you need to take a
have
boat to get to the center.
I have a pitch, and we can absolutely scrap it. But my pitch is that the last time anyone saw your grandfather, he was heading to the mountain in the middle of the lake.
Yo.
Oh, I love
Yo.
Ah, so the mountain's somewhere people don't go to.
I don't think so.
Suspicious.
I don't know anything beyond that, but I think it's fun.
Oh, it is. It is. Anyway, play to find out, huh?
So can I quickly confirm the geography here? Is it like crater, lake, town, mountain? Going from like outside to center? Or am I... Is the crater at the top of the mountain?
I think that, but like crater walls, town, lake, mountain. So like the town's on the edge of the like crater.
Gotcha.
walls.
I see. Yeah.
That's
I'm
what
on
I was picturing.
board. I am on
Yeah,
board.
this tracks in my mind.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
So our farm starts. So farms in Wishing Well have 3 stats: beauty, sustainability, and comfort. And we start with 1 in each. So for beauty, weeds everywhere, fallen trees, dilapidated buildings, and broken windows. Everything's sort of fallen apart. For sustainability, imported supplies, late nights and early mornings, not enough to go around. And for comfort, sleeping bags, a hot plate, a closet to try and de-stress in, and 1 snack every 3 months.
Not
That's not a lot of snacks.
not much different from crying in the food service freezer, huh?
No,
Mm.
absolutely
Or
not.
in the stock room under the stairs.
Just find your one little spot. Just cry in it.
Yeah.
It's
Crying
the
while
same.
working on your bachelor's thesis, you know.
So that's pretty much all the intro stuff out of the way. Did we want to have a quick 2-minute break before we dive into the first sort of games?
That sounds
good
like
to
a
me.
plan.
Can I do a couple quick housekeeping
Sure.
things actually? Related to the stream?
Sure.
Firstly, we just got a raid of a party of 10. So thank you, darling Demon Eclipse, for coming in and bringing some people into the Twitch chat. We love that.
Hi. Thank
So-
you.
I was
Very
going to
nice.
say something, but I didn't know what that meant.
It means more people are here. So that's what we like to see.
That's cool.
Also, we're
Woo!
raising money
Yeah.
for the Native American Rights Fund. So head on over and do some donating if you want to. But also, I was just going to say, since we were talking about links, Do we want to go through with the like dollar donate for every link thing? Is that fun? Do we like that?
I like it.
So if we say,
Sure.
like, you know, go with whatever feels best, but like, if you want to commit to donating like $1 or $2 or even $5 for every link that gets made this game. I haven't played this game, so I don't know how many that's likely to be. But yeah, that'll help us reach our current goal of $2,000.
Yeah, as we play mini games and meet NPCs, we'll be forging links with them. So, yeah.
And potentially strengthening and changing the ones we do have.
Yes.
When we do something in the game, donate $1 if you approve and $2 if you don't.
Yes!
Absolutely.
Oh, perfect. Absolutely.
So let's have a quick
All right. 2-minute break. Then.
Yeah. We can do top of the hour.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And blurb. We're back.
It's not a stream without a blurb.
We are here to blurb, and we
great.
are here to farm, and we are here to have good times with our friends.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
So let's
Hell
dive
yes.
into the games. So We start with the person who most recently considered quitting their job. Nope. We're going to start with the letter from grandparents / setting down roots. Because we need to do that
yes.
one first. Years ago, one of you got a letter from your grandparent. They told you not to open it until you were truly exhausted with the crush of capitalism, with the monotony of the day-to-day. Well, that day has come. You've opened the letter to find a deed to a farm in a new town, and you and your friends are moving out there. So, everyone plays. We need to decide which one of us has the deed, which would either be Roz or Ewan.
Or both of them combined.
Or both.
We both have half of the deed.
With our powers
Split
combined.
half of an X-Acto knife.
Our grandparent was a curious fellow.
The first game is a like Professor Layton style. You have to like put the note together.
Listen, our grandparent was an interesting person. Our number one dad was an even more interesting one. Actually, no, we have different dads. So
yeah,
least I
one's
think.
number one
I think that's how
dad.
cousins work.
It all gets family's confusing.
Yeah. Family's weird. It's fine. Cool. So
yeah,
we
I
need
guess-
to describe as a group. Oh, was there more? I thought we were just both.
Oh no, yeah, go ahead.
We need to describe as a group what the farm looks like when we arrive, and name something there that stands out to each of us. Everyone plays, and each character gains 1 farm experience. We take turns describing scenes where we gain that experience. Other players can be present in the scenes, but they do not gain the same experience you do. Is there someone to show you around the farm? If you meet any of the townsfolk, make a link with them. So how do you think we, arrive to the town?
I can drive, everyone. I have a car.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Hell yeah.
Great.
Kyle, is
Yeah.
it all of us and also our luggage in the same car?
And our
Because that sounds like,
Sure is.
oh god, and your pets.
And the pets.
It's everyone is piled into my Hyundai Sonata. That's right.
Can
right?
Ewan be in the middle seat in the back because he's the shortest?
Please,
Yes.
Yes.
let him be squished.
Oh, that's a long fucking drive, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my 2007 Hyundai Sonata. It's like a silvery gray color, and it's been through some times, but it's looking better than ever.
I'm having to Google what this car is.
It's just a sedan.
It's a
just a-
generic
yeah.
car.
It's an extremely generic
Oh.
car.
Just a
Cool.
compact car.
I googled 2007 Hyundai Sonata, and the first autocomplete result I got was problems. I mean, I guess that's not surprising if someone's googling about a car, but it's just a very good
Extremely
one.
funny. Is the car's name just Problems?
Oh, that's so good.
Oh,
yes.
that's good.
My sweet, sweet child problems.
Your problem child.
The problem child.
Suitcases tied to the roof, because I'm looking at a picture of a Sonata. There's no way you're fitting like 5 people, 2 enormous pets, and also the luggage all together inside.
It's got
Something's
best in-
going to be on the roof.
It's got best in class trunk space for a mid-sized sedan. I don't know what you're talking about.
Problems has no problems.
No problems. I've never seen a problem in its life.
Pay no attention to the flashing dashboard lights, huh?
No.
Are
done
we able
a
to
great...
get to the town?
Yeah.
Just in a car?
Listen,
Yeah.
this is. You don't need to. This is. I do this for a living. This is nothing. For real. I think we can get there.
I feel like there is I feel like we can definitely get there. There's just like a gravel road on the way along like a steep
Yeah.
mountainside that makes us very, very nervous about getting there.
Yes, and it's
Oh, for sure.
very uncomfortable. Like
God, yeah.
very uncomfortable.
Goose barks the whole time we're on that section.
Ellery is
boy.
asleep for most of the drive.
Roz's shotgun? Does that sound right?
Sure,
Or is
yeah.
I
Manny
feel
shotgun?
like Manny being very big would be shotgun.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I tried.
I'm still yelling directions from the back though, because
Yes.
Roz is just like that.
I like the image of Roz, Ewan, and Ellery in the back. Ewan just squished in the middle, like there are pets everywhere, and I don't like this. HB, correct me if I'm wrong, of course. And Ellery just like asleep, probably leaning on Ewan, maybe drooling a bit. Just like conked
Ewan-
out.
Ewan not asleep was probably like leaning on Roz a little bit, just because he's trying to fall asleep but can't.
There are just animals everywhere.
I think
So Manny's. Oh yeah, sorry.
no, I was just gonna say Maple tries to put on some of its noise music, but then probably very quickly lets anyone else take over the music.
Uh-huh.
Ewan gets a turn, puts on some LMFAO.
Oh no.
God!
I will
You've
never
just made the
apologize.
most awful.
Every
most
day I'm
easy to
shuffling.
dislike character. Oh, no.
I will never apologize
Manny-
for party rocking.
Manny's parents are currently geologists, and they were very passionate about their careers in geology. So Manny spends most of this trip just really excitedly telling the group about all the different geographic formations they pass.
Oh my god.
All the
Yes.
different rocks there are.
Also making sure that we take scheduled bathroom breaks. That the driver is if we need to switch drivers, that happens.
Does Maple
And,
let
you know-
anyone else drive its car?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yes. In which case, making sure that you take a break.
Mm-hmm.
And also having snacks for everybody at all times.
Maybe if someone is really wants to. Like, I think Maple would let Roz drive, but if he was excited about that. But
Roz
generally
is
not.
happy might be a stretch, but Roz is fine in the back seat for now. Yeah. We should probably actually describe what the farm looks like. What?
Does anyone meet us when we drive into town?
Real quick, it's not too late to just make this a game of ribbon drive, right? And just have the entire game be the road trip. We could
Should we
just
take an
You-
hour break to work on our playlists?
yeah, let's take 10, put together a playlist, and then just play ribbon drive.
We're gonna start doing a Twitch stream of Ribbon Drive and immediately get blocked.
Oh yeah, that's
get blocked
true.
by
We're
the
literally
NCA.
streaming. We can't.
What are you saying? Our money will triple. Okay.
Yeah, I feel
Anyway,
like there's
yeah.
someone, or at least someone who sees this new car. Well, not new because it's from 2007, but when you live in a
Newer
small
than my
town,
car.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
fair
feel
enough.
like Buckley Kearnshaw should see us just on top of his farm with his goats. So
Yes!
introduce
Oh,
Buckley.
yeah.
He runs the goat farm. I've written on the Eastern Hill. Who knows where that is? I guess the east. Who's a
we're
middle-aged
approaching
man
the
but
east.
looks older and has a long unkept beard and often has at least one goat with him. He likes goats and dislikes people who don't like goats.
Very
And he wants
straightforward.
to
man.
repopulate Whisker Valley with its natural goat species. So I feel like we just get a shot of him up on his hill with some goats just watching the car drive in.
Maple's eyes.
Jostle its way up the gravel road.
There's a bunch of ghosts that look skeptically at this new arrival.
Maple looks skeptically
Yep.
back at these goats.
What does a skeptical goat even look like?
Just a regular goat. They already
A regular
look
goat,
skeptical.
really.
Yeah.
That goat from The Witch.
Oh,
I
found a
don't
good
know if
soup
we
with the
can
goat.
live deliciously yet.
Well, Manny's a chef, so we will be. Don't worry.
Do you think
Once we
there's,
get them
like-
packed.
Do you think there's bad directions to the farm that you've been given from your grandparents?
I think what happens is did we tape the map together backwards?
Oh no.
What if it's like
Or
the
like-
classic comedy tableau where we just arrive at this stately farmhouse and check in, and somebody else is already living here. We realize this isn't the farm we're looking for. We're directed to that like an absolutely crumbled farm down the road.
Okay, question: Is this us meeting Copeland the Younger? Does Copeland live in the fancy farmhouse?
I think so. So.
Mm.
It's like a fancy house with a radio tower.
Mhm.
Exactly. And we're like,
Oh, no.
what's up? And Copeland the Younger is like, no.
We should
Carter,
introduce
did you want to
Copeland.
introduce Copeland? Yeah.
Yes.
I'll do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Copeland the Younger uses they/them pronouns. Their description is ineffably statesmanlike, made their fortune selling cures on the radio, carries a sword at their side, because, when you make your fortune selling medicines, you can afford to buy yourself just a personal sword to have, I guess. They enjoy yelling from high places and jokes about goats, and they dislike people inquiring about their castle, because their drive is to eventually build a proper castle in Whisker Valley.
And Buckley, the goat farmer, and Copeland have a light link, and everyone thinks they should just get married already.
One of these days. But
One of these
anyway,
days.
they probably will not be getting married when our car pulls up and they come out to tell us off for trespassing.
What if
Who's
they just
that?
yell at us from the roof?
Yeah, exactly. Just who's that? Like, who's talking? Looks up.
Oh, right, yeah.
Maple rolls down the window. Hi.
Wait, who's playing Copeland? Fuck. Oh.
Yeah, great question. Wait, who's scene is this? Because we need to do these as individual scenes, right?
Oh fuck.
We
don't
can
have
do
to. Nobody can make us.
Yeah, we don't.
We can do
yeah.
this scene like sort of arriving at the farm or
Yeah.
not our farm,
That
just
sounds
like
good.
everyone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The setup scene is everyone plays, so like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this tracks for me.
Does anyone want to be Copeland?
Sure.
Awesome.
Okay, so I think it was Maple speaking to Copeland, right?
Yeah, I just I rolled down my window and I'm just like, hey, you live here?
Yes.
We're starting a farm.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I like your sword.
Are we there yet? Ellery, waking up.
My sword is impeccably crafted. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'd say. Listen, do you know where the I turn over to Roz and Ewan in the backseat and I'm just like, what's the name of your what's the name of the plot?
Snow Peak. he checks his notes. Strange.
Hey, sword friend. Do you know where sword friend? Do you have a name?
My name is Copeland the Younger.
Copeland. I'm Maple. It's nice to meet
Who
you.
are you younger than?
That is none of your business. It is great to meet you.
Do you know where Snow Peak Grange is, Copeland?
Snow Peak Grange.
Yeah, Snow Peak Grange.
Thinks about it. Stares off into the middle distance.
How far away are we
Frowns
right now?
slightly.
Because this is so funny if we're just like...
Oh, I've been
Miles
picturing
away.
Copeland yelling like a distance.
Yes, I love it.
Like hands cupped over around their mouth. Just,
Yeah.
and I think they're like, oh shit, do we have a name for the grandfather?
No.
We never decided.
Okay.
Can I present a really bad idea?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Is it Mr. Bears?
Yes, it's Mr. Bears. It's Lion Bears, but he goes by Tiger.
Lion bears.
Yes!
He goes by Tiger!
It's,
Okay, great. So Copeland the Younger like thinks about this. Like I think you can vaguely see them in the distance. Like put their hand on their chin, like squinting into the middle distance. I think like puts a hand on the hilt of their sword, not like threateningly, but like as a way to think. And then like it occurs to them, they cup their hands around their mouth and yell back at you. Ah, yes. That is where Mr. Lion Bears, but he preferred to be called Tiger, stayed, lived, worked. Snow Peak Rage.
No shit. I turn back to Roz and you and did you know that he preferred to be called Tiger?
He always tried to make that happen and it never worked.
Well, it clearly worked here. I respect that.
So
I guess it's
where
a
is
different
it?
crowd.
Yeah, that's true.
Roz just has his head in his hands, like, please, can we get to the farm? I can't.
So, Copeland, we just follow that road over here?
My full name is Copeland the Younger.
Copeland the Younger, I apologize. Do we just follow that road over here?
Younger than what?
It's none of your business, my good friend. Anyway, yes, Snow Peak Range. You can certainly access it by going down that road, making a left and then a right and then kind of a diagonal left. You'll go around a winding path and eventually you'll find it, or it will find you.
Great.
Well,
I
that's
love
ominous.
that. Very inspirational. Thank you, Copeland the Younger.
Is there a
You're
Copeland the
welcome.
older?
I get the sense we probably shouldn't ask about that. It sounds sensitive.
I think that when Copeland the Younger says anything, they like swing their sword to like indicate the direction or like make a point.
Yeah, exactly. We can take a left and a diagonal left makes a slashing motion.
Mm-hmm.
Just like cuts
oh
a fly in
God,
half
yeah.
without noticing.
Yeah.
Yup. And Copeland the Younger, it's just like, well, good luck on your journey. Good luck with this farm. Be sure to listen to my radio program.
You got a radio program. What's the station?
Wow, I don't know radio stations.
We can move past it. I can
87.5 FM.
I tune my
Okay. I think actually it's like like Copeland said it, but it just sounds like static, but you all know what it is, and it's like, okay, that's fine.
I tune the car radio to whatever the station is.
Miracle cures today. Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
It's like it's like one of those there are like these stations that are run by people who just have like this one business, but they also like get musicians on there and stuff like that. I think it's like one of those stations, like a real old style station.
Oh, for sure.
Because I'm
me.
because I'm me, can the frequency be 106.9?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
Can Buckley have a weekly segment where he talks
Okay.
about his goats?
Literally, thank you. I was about to say we tune into the radio and it is being like, and the miracle cures. Yes, they're all excellent. Now we are onto the literally onto the guest segment of my good friend Buckley Kearnshaw. Buckley, it is fantastic to have you. How are your goats? And it just goes on like that.
Maple grits its teeth.
I'm Buckley Kearnshaw, and I'm proud to welcome you to the Goat Report.
The goat report.
It's like what's his face? Kramer, Mad
It
Money,
really
except
gets-
it's goats. Sorry.
Yes. Oh my god. It really gets my goat. Anyway.
Hey.
So we get to the farm.
Real quick, can I make a heart link with Copeland the Younger?
Sure,
Yeah.
if anyone... I feel like we might need to... If we meet any of the townsfolk, we need to make a link with them. So,
Oh, okay. It's required.
So does that count?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm gonna make a heart link with Copeland the Younger, which is entirely based off of I want to swing their sword and or get into a sword fight with them.
Perfect.
Meet sword to sword.
Oh no.
Jesus
Is it too late
Christ.
to play Firebrands?
I think technically because all of us met Copeland, if you feel like your character, like, didn't properly meet them, don't make a link.
Yeah,
I think
don't
Ewan
think
didn't
Manny
even
feels.
see Copeland. Ewan's in the middle of this arrangement.
Manny is amused and entertained, but does not know what Copeland was saying. So
Yeah.
Reasonable.
I feel like Copeland and Ellery might have a dark link, but the sort where Copeland doesn't like Ellery, but Ellery doesn't realize.
That's funny. That's very funny to me.
very funny.
I'll fill that in on Copeland's sheet too.
Awesome. So we each need to name something that stands out to our characters as we arrive at our farm.
I was going to just say like a large stand of pine trees or something that like, oh, excuse me. Yeah, just that the farm is ringed by like a really dense and old-looking pine forest. I don't know enough
Yep.
about trees to pick specific like types, but it just looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think what really stuck in my memory was that there was like a full-on razorback boar just like living in the kitchen, and it chased us out at first.
Can you repeat that, please?
There was like a feral razorback boar that was just like
Oh,
living
like a
in the...
pig.
Yeah.
We have a feral hog living on our... Okay,
I can't
okay,
believe
sure.
we already first scene. We already got to feral hogs.
They're a problem in
It's
farmlands.
true.
They sure are.
And this one in particular, this one has an attitude.
We can't take a dark link with the boar, can we?
I think we have to
Maybe
actually
later.
introduce the boar first.
Yes.
Later.
I'm excited to make this boar a townsperson, though. Oh my god.
Christ.
Oh my god, what if this boar can talk? Okay.
I think
God.
something Ellery notices is there's like, sort of close to the river lake, on our property, there's like a small falling apart shack and like a little dock.
Yeah,
Nice,
for
nice.
sure. I think, yeah, the first thing Manny notices is that this farm is in disrepair. The more important thing, I think, is that, like, there isn't really a kitchen space. It's very small. There's not a lot of stuff in it. There's probably, like, you know, a sink, a stove, a couple cupboards, maybe. And I think it's like, oh shit, all right, we do have a lot of work to do. But I think what makes him like focus in on this detail is that, like, okay, it's a lot of work, but like, thank fuck it's not Starbucks. Like, it's mine, it's ours.
Oh,
Thank God.
that's so awesome.
Good shit.
I think Maple gravitates towards, there's like a circle of rocks outside, that is just like 9 or 10 large rocks that are like arranged in a very neat circle that like almost as if they were placed there. And I think Maple sits in the center and is like, this is a place that has some real power to it. And I think it's gonna end up spending a lot of time just like chilling in this rock circle and like, you know, thinking, having a think.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Cool. Each of our characters gains 1 farm experience, and we take turns describing scenes where we gain that experience. Other players can be present in the scenes, but they do not gain the same experience. Who wants to go first?
I want to do something with the kitchen, and
Hello.
Manny can be here too if he wants. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Debating between whether or not I want to be debating which experience I want to frame this around, because I have 2 potential ones I'm interested in. It's like either I can make this work, which is to keep something running well against all odds, or hold the flashlight for me, which is to fix something under any conditions. So like, do I want to be jury-rigging something, or do I want to fix something? Which I guess doesn't matter very much difference-wise.
Yeah, for flavor, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick which experience after you play out the scene if you want.
Yeah, that's reasonable. What do we have stove-wise, like, in the farmhouse?
Maybe it's just a fireplace.
It says a hot plate under comfort for our farm stats.
Oh yeah, we are at the lowest possible one. Let me see.
Maybe there's
Yes,
an old
thinking
gas
back,
stove that doesn't work.
Yes. There's a gas stove and a fireplace, and the gas stove doesn't work.
We're like from the city, and we're like unused to having a gas stove that you like operate from. That you operate from like a from like one of those from like a gas canister.
Yup.
All of ours have all of the gas stoves we've ever worked with have had this had like a gas line to them.
Sorry, what?
Like not like when like in the country when you have a gas stove, you usually don't have like a public gas line. So instead, you just operate them from a canister that you have to refill now and again.
Okay. So do you think it's just like trying to figure out how to safely detach and refill the canister?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because we don't have Wi-Fi out here, and so I can't like look up the fucking YouTube tutorial that would tell me how to do this.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's just like fucking us on our like hands and knees trying to like figure out what attaches to where, and like how to safely detach and reattach it without, you know, incident.
Yeah, Vanny's doing his best to like move to take all the little parts very gently, but then also to like heave the big parts that he needs to, like, it's, you know.
Yeah, and I figure at the end it's just like Raz like flicking on the stove while like simultaneously leaning as far back as he can just in case.
Manny's like probably trying to find like a directory to be like, is there like a fire station we need to call? Like...
do we just like run to the lake with buckets? Like what's our option here?
Yeah.
Sounds like I guess I will check off I can make this work. Thematically. That's closest.
Shoutouts to making it work.
Mm-hmm.
Who else has a scene?
Actually, I started saying because I'm next in the order, but I don't think I have one yet, so if anyone else wants to go.
I have one.
Do it.
I think one of the first things that we need to do is get rid of like this. Is get rid of like this feral hog that's hanging around. That's hanging out.
Giant feral hog, yeah.
Yep.
And that's Ewan's job.
Uh-huh.
And it's as you might expect, kind of complicated, and it takes like the better part of like several hours. And basically, what it comes down to is that Ewan just kind of observes this feral hog and like leads it around and is like tries to appease it in various ways, and I think eventually develops intuition, read an animal's body language.
You know intimately when the hog is like, I do not want to be around you. Go away.
Hog lore.
But also, what does this hog really want, and how can I bribe it so that it will do what I want it to?
Brilliant.
That's very good. Trying to make a deal with this hog.
I think at the end of it,
I would
Ewan
like
is just
a bribe.
yeah. Ewan just gets some food and like starts walking up to the hog. Goes like, "All right, don't kill me, come on, we can work this out." And they do. It works.
Hell yeah.
The hog is the first member of our farm.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Do we have a name for the hog?
We need a name for this hog.
Hogsley. Like Huxley, but Hogsley.
Hogsley?
Yeah. There we go, Hogsley.
Into it. I think I have one.
If you feel so inclined, you can make Hogsley up as a townsfolk.
What's Hogsley's drive? Eat?
I think Hogsley has a wild enough nature that Hogsley will wander around.
Is that a point for or
I
against making
have an
Hogsley?
Ellery scene.
Well, what I'm saying is, if Hogsley is is a member of the townsfolk, then I think what happens is that Hogsley doesn't really live here. Hogsley just kind of wanders around, ravages the area.
And comes back.
Which, the more I describe it, the more I am for it.
Yes.
What pronouns do we give a hog?
They, them.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You were saying you had an Ellery scene?
Yes. So I think, how prepared do you think we were with food coming out here?
Prepared.
Pretty prepared.
I mean, like,
Okay.
I definitely brought a lot of stuff.
Okay. I think Ellery, does our town have a pub or like an inn or a tavern?
It does now.
Sure. I think Ellery goes to like the local food place and does some busking on their hurdy-gurdy.
Oh my god.
More with the intent to like just sort of entertain people and make friends. And the bartender who we now need to make as a townsperson basically shouts them dinner, and they're like, "Oh, could I have some food and things to take back to my friends? We just moved here and we're still trying to figure out how to get the oven to work." And Ellery gained the skill Sea Shanties, connect people through song.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's very good.
I think just going by like our town description, where like we tend not to have like anything official so much as just like a person who everyone is the guy who you know when you know a guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think the tavern keep as they exist is kind of just like someone who has a really big house and a really big kitchen, and just the lower floor like the deck has like, you know, an assortment of
Yeah.
like plastic chairs and tables set up for people who want to swing by and like grab a plate from the kitchen.
And the bartender's name is Candace Stetson.
Nice.
Thanks to
Ooh,
this
that's a
wonderful
good name.
generator.
Nice.
That's a good name.
Okay, but please can we
important
read
note.
off? Oh,
Important note: I've defined Hogsley, and Hogsley now has a mastery link with Ewan.
Oh, good.
But who is the student and who is the teacher?
I don't think they learned from each
Hogsley's
other.
Yes!
You
Yeah, I
know?
like to think my students teach me.
yes. The answer to the question is yes.
I think it's a relationship like you know when like I think I've seen this in video games where like one of the first characters you meet is like some weirdo off the street who teaches you how the game works.
Yep.
That's Hogsley in this case for you.
Hogsley is the fucking tutorial character?
Tutorial hog.
Yes.
Oh my god, I love that. Okay.
I want to play this JRPG, just saying, I would love to play this, where like you fucking
Yes.
learn the directions from a fucking feral hog.
absolute dream. We've created a paradise. I think.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Likes are to wander, to menace, to bite, to investigate curious smells, and Hogsley's dislikes are hands, music, funny faces, and sudden movements.
What
His
for
drive,
me?
Makes sense.
their drive is to live free.
Live free or die hog.
Oh my god.
Do I give you contempt or like $1? I'm not sure.
$2.
Drop it in the wishing well.
Donate $2. Exactly. Drop it in the wishing well.
Donate for Hogsley.
God.
Oh, I just looked at pictures of what a razorback boar is, and they're so cute.
They are. Okay, I do think, upon discovering this feral razorback hog, the chef and Manny had a very brief moment of
no.
like, maybe I can cook, and then was like, no, this hog is too wild and free. I respect them too much. And just kind of lets Hogsley run off. I think that his quick scene is just cobbling together a bunch of the food that he brought, and then probably also checking out the farm to see if anything edible is growing around the area. I think like has like a very extremely basic knowledge of like what herbs look like and stuff, and maybe just like happens to find some like rosemary or whatever growing, and cooks up a meal that is surprisingly impressive and delicious. I don't quite know what it is yet. I think it is, you know, something that can like transport across, you know, long distances. So not like meat or I think I think it's like a vegetable stew is what I make.
What
Yeah.
sort of things
Wild
are growing
carrots.
around?
I think I don't know anything about farming, so I'm just gonna say some vegetables. Just have that be true.
What? Gareth?
Yeah, I think some carrots, some
Mushrooms.
onions, some turnips. I don't think a lot of them though, because this farm is in extreme disrepair and has not been taken care of. So I think
You know what likes to grow and take over large areas of land? Wild
What?
pumpkins.
Oh my god!
They just-
pumpkin
Oh my
soup.
god!
They just go
Okay.
everywhere.
Okay, great. So okay, I think he
Our
makes-
anonymous
he makes,
pumpkin
like,
is back.
Yes. Okay, he makes vegetable stew. I think he like brought like vegetables with us on the trip and stuff. Makes vegetable stew, probably like a cooler or whatever. Makes a delicious vegetable stew, and then takes one of these wild pumpkins. It's fucking massive. hauls it in, de-seeds it and everything, and I think like bakes this like delicious pumpkin dessert. I don't think it's like a pumpkin pie or anything. I think it's like a pumpkin. No, actually, I think it's literally just like sweetened pumpkin bit, and then like probably with toasted pumpkin seeds. It's delicious.
Like a maple roasted pumpkin sort of thing.
Exactly. It's like a pumpkin souffle kind of situation. So the farm experience I'm checking off is farm to table, impress with quality.
Nice.
As far as Maple goes, I think Maple is a little like shocked isn't the right word. Just like it is finding it really hard to kind of like contribute and know where to fit in. And I think like it wants to start out in the garden and like does a little bit of weeding and like that goes okay, but like then there's so much other stuff, and then I think maybe it's helping like Ewan with the hog a little bit and maybe helping out a little bit with dinner. And I think the one thing that is like working for Maple is that it's constantly sort of like keeps because it's like struggling so much with like getting into the zone and like figuring out stuff to do. Every time it does like one small thing, it's like running around to everyone and being like, oh my god, look, I did like this weeding, or like, look, I cleared out this bit of like this section of twigs, and oh my god, look, like we got the hog out. And I think like it sort of turns into like I think it's maybe a little annoying at first, but then sort of turns into a fun, like now everyone is sharing off their like little small accomplishments as we get started. And that is the farm experience. Show and tell, you're proud of your accomplishments, and it's contagious.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. One thing. So, like, if it wasn't clear, all these farm experiences are basically abilities tied to our farm jobs. And what I really like about all the abilities in this game is that they're all, I mean, like, thematically they're tied to the job, but also, like, a lot of them are phrased in a way where you can, like, apply them, like, in a lot of different ways, too. And I think that's cool.
Yeah. Like, the fisher jobs, none of them are explicitly about fishing. Like, I read through them and was like, none of these are explicitly like, you learn them from fishing, which is cool. Yeah.
It's very good.
So, now we start with the person who's most recently considered quitting their job. I think this might be player who's most recently considered quitting their job.
Yeah.
Which might be me.
It might be me.
It might be me.
Oh boy, we love this.
Fight!
Oh my god.
I guess we can also just like maybe a way to do this without necessarily having people reveal when they want to quit their job. There is like so who's wanted to quit their job today?
I mean, it was a weekend.
It was a weekend.
I definitely wanted to quit my job yesterday.
Same.
I think not me then. Well, either of you. Basically, if the Google Sheet has a good list of the minigames in the minigames tab along the bottom.
Oh, I didn't see that. Nice.
Which is
Ooh.
super helpful for
Cool.
just thinking of one.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm starting off, I wouldn't mind starting off with Long Hot Summer Days.
Sure.
It feels like a good one to get into.
For sure.
So, I can read the description as soon as my
Yeah.
PDF
Yeah, go
lets
ahead.
me scroll to it. It's not all socializing and having fun on the farm. Sometimes you need to roll up your sleeves and deal with tasks. At least one person plays. Declare something that you want to work on, such as painting of a building, planting a crop, tending to the animals, or any other chore. The goal is to complete a clock. You can do an easy, medium, or hard chore. Easy kind of does something mechanically. Medium, you fix something and also you get a compliment from someone. And hard lets you increase a farm stat. I want to go for broke. Let's go for a hard chore, which is a 10-step clock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're diving right into it. And I think what Maple wants to do is like clear enough of the like plot that it can start growing. What's a good crop to start growing? What season is this?
I mean, if we want to... Good question. We have pumpkins, so...
That's true. Maybe it's like... Because my limited experience with pumpkins and growing them is that they get extremely wild and like their vines go freaking all over the place. So maybe it's just like trying to sort of like tame that and like make the pumpkin patch something that is like usable and harvestable. Like clearing away dead growth and all that stuff.
That makes sense.
Sure. Right, I have more things I have to do. 1 second. Start with 1 die for each person working on the chore you've chosen. Add a die for every person helping and for each skill you use to try and help with the task. Who would like to help?
Me.
Yeah, Ellery will help.
He doesn't help because he's an animals guy.
Roz is willing to be a pair of hands, so...
That works. So that brings us up to 4 people? Everyone but you? And then I get to spend an extra die, or take an extra die for every skill I'm using. I think I will probably use one of my city job skills. Some of these are so good. My first one on my list is proper procedure. Do it right the first time. And I really like that for this. I think like it is probably a little annoying, but Maple gathers Ellery and Roz and Manny all together at the pumpkin patch, and like they spend a long time just like talking out what this is gonna look like and sort of conceptualizing it, and it's sort of like a think twice, cut once, or whatever the saying is.
Lift with your I almost said knees, Christ. lift with your legs, not your back.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, just like planning it all out, and in order to make sure this goes as well as possible. That's 5 dice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I need
And
to
you do the total, yes?
Yeah, so I need to get a total of 10. I'm gonna roll it in the roll 20, which people in the chat can't see, but I promise it's happening. Oh
19,
my God.
Christ!
19.
Nailed it.
Absolutely crushes it.
Oh my God, yes.
I cross off that city experience now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. But yeah, I think like this is a massive success. I think everyone pitches in. I think like Roz sort of helps out with like cutting away the old vines. I think like Manny and Ellery are sort of like helping to sort of like plant new seeds and sort of like arrange things in a row nicely. And yeah, Maple's sort of like getting hands dirty in the plot and like clearing away this like really nice looking pumpkin patch.
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
So I get to raise a farm stat.
Yes.
I'm guessing this is sustainability because presumably we are kind of on a long enough time horizon that like this is now a stable source of food, which is pumpkins.
Yeah. I sort of pictured like the pumpkin plant taking over a large portion of the farm.
Yeah.
It's like growing up, I've had pumpkin plants just take over entire backyards if we haven't
Oof.
taken care of them.
Right.
So,
So does sustainability sit right with you then, or do you think it's something different?
no, sustainability is good.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's about making the farm like operational, basically.
Yeah, like I think it is. I don't think it's beauty. I think it's like I still don't
Yeah,
think this
'cause,
is like pretty. Nor is it comfort.
Oh, it's
really,
not
but-
pretty, especially. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's like rather than sort of like this patch just like absolutely growing out of control. It's like okay, this is manageable. This is harvestable. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Sick.
Yeah, the UN comes back and like all the work is done. He reflexively feels he reflexively feels proud of all the work that they've all been doing.
Do
Good
you say
hustle.
so out loud? Do you come back and are all like, oh, good job, everybody, and
Yeah, and I think he even says "good job," everybody. I think he says, "Wow, well, we're really shaping this place up, huh?"
Yeah, we really are. I think Maple's willing to give Ewan a pass on this one because it's still really impressed with the work on the hog. With the hog, I should say.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I'm sorry I didn't help. I'm just not an Earth kind of guy, And he just he's conspicuously holding a shovel in this moment.
Yeah.
Put some dirt on it.
right, I forgot you fucking carry the shovel everywhere. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I
Maple,
got a lot to reflect on, so I'll be in the attic.
Maple starts watering the pumpkins pointedly.
Cool.
Do we have
The
an order,
book
by
says
the way?
to then go in clockwise order or top to bottom.
I guess the
And
Discord
every
order.
third game, play wear and tear. Yeah, I'm happy to go next. What's the game I want to play? I think Talk Around the Fire Pit could be a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
28.
After a long day of work, you can finally relax outside. Get a drink, grab a snack, and stare at the sky. Any number of people play, either farmers or townsfolk. Take turns. So I think this is like same day as we've cleared up like basically with some of the wood that we've probably gathered during all of this made a little fire pit. Maybe inside the circle of rock.
Oh, yeah. I
How
like
would
that.
Maple feel about that?
Fine, as long as we like sort of clear everything away afterwards. I don't know. I don't know if Maple wants this to be like the fire pit. I think it feels a little bit more sacred to it than that. But like I like the idea of how sort of having a celebratory fire here all the same.
Okay. I think Ellery probably checks with Maple because they probably noticed that Maple like gravitates towards the circle of rocks. But yeah, if Maple's okay with it,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
there. Ellery also probably goes into town and is like, hey, if anyone wants to we're just having a bit of a celebration after sort of setting things up a bit, and invites any townsfolk that want to come. I'm assuming most of our characters are there.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Is Ewan taking part?
I'm roleplaying Ewan, but not knowing what game this is. Which one is this again?
Oh, talk at the fire pit.
Yeah, I figured. I want to make sure is what Ewan says.
Good. Cool. On your turn, choose a prompt or come up with something to talk about. Then roleplay out the conversation. If nothing comes to mind, you can pass. When everyone has passed at least once, it's time to go to bed. I guess I'll start. Oh boy. There's so many things.
Mhm.
Does anyone have any ideas of what they want to do for these?
I do.
Oh.
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 I like to hear that.
There's like I like the idea that we all sit down at the fire pit and there's like townsfolk around and you're all around and nobody has any idea what to actually talk about because we're like, freshly arrived in this town. I think Ewan just kind of stands up and like brandishes a shovel and goes, "Do you all know that there's like truffles out there? You can just like go and search for them and then you can dig them up and there they are, truffles."
Did Hawksley teach you about this?
Okay.
He like looks shiftily at the townsfolk and goes, I think I read it somewhere.
Manny's going to like big grin, signs very excitedly. Truffles, excellent.
You
Can you show me where they are? Can we gather some truffles?
Have you found any truffles, Ewan?
I mean, I found some, but they, you know, you know how it is.
Did you eat raw truffles?
No.
And I think like, and like periodically, Ewan turns to Manny to like sign the salient points of what he's saying. He like says, he like signs truffles, and then like like at this point, size you know how it is.
He's tilting his head. So, like, okay, he can lip read to you, but obviously, like, that takes a lot more concentration and focus. Signing is just a lot easier for him to do. So he's mostly paying attention to the signing and just tilts his head, frowns, signs back. Yeah, you find the truffles, you dig them up, and then you can cook with them.
Yeah,
I feel like finding them just isn't as easy as that.
Yeah, he gets it.
Okay,
That's what
but
I
like,
understand.
where are you finding them?
I think they just grow. Like, I mean, they're like, like grow near trees. I think you can just gotta know the places, right?
Yeah.
Boy.
It's like the way I he's about to say heard it, but rephrases it quickly to read it. The way I read it, there's a lot of secrets in these parts.
Oh my god!
Where did you read this?
Where did you read this?
Yeah, we've been on the farm for like a day, my guy. What?
It's like a guide or some shit. Yeah, you know, I like research this a little bit.
Huh.
Huh.
Okay.
I think
Well,
Buckley's there with one of his goats and pipes up, "I didn't know Whisker Valley had a guide."
As like a general wilderness guy, right? And I think the difference between how Hogsley explains things and how Ewan explains things, that Ewan is explaining them secondhand and very badly. It's like a terrible video game tutorial.
Yep.
You...
Is Hogsley at the fire pit, by the way?
Oh my god.
I think Hogsley doesn't like this many people being around.
That's fair.
No.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hogsley only hangs around player characters.
Yeah.
No NPC.
Hogsley, I think, Hogsley, like many good tutorial characters, only appears like when there's like nobody else around to see him.
Yep.
Of course. Of course. I'm sorry. I want to keep the conversation going, but I can't stop laughing over fucking Hogsley. I can't.
It's so good.
Yeah, but I think this part of the conversation just kind of keeps going, and I think once he runs out of like actual actionable facts that Hogsley talked about, I think he just draws on yes, of course I'm done, and just bullshits with the best of them. This miraculously starts the conversation with the actual townsfolk.
I think Ellery wants to have a conversation with Buckley if someone would
Okay.
like to play the weird goat man.
If no one else wants to be the weird goat man, I can be the weird
Be
goat
the
man.
weird goat man you want to see in the world,
Be the
Carter.
weird goat man.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
What does Ellery say then?
I think after Ewan sort of like trailed off, Ellery turns to Buckley and is like, "So, do you normally bring goats with you to parties?"
Yes, he says, and then just sort of like absently pats the head of like the nearest goat who has like wandered back over to him. They're my friends.
Nice. Do the goats have names?
Fuck, now I have to come up with names.
I'm sorry.
He says, well, I mean, it depends. Usually they tell me their names. This one here is Maisel Starshine.
Maisel Starshine.
Yep. Normally they don't give me surnames, but you know, sometimes you get creative types. And he gives Maisel a scratch behind the ears.
Maisel like flicks one of her ears and immediately starts trying to like chew your sleeve.
Huh.
He just kind of sighs and then ineffectually bats her away. We already talked about this, Maisel. You should know better. Come on.
I think Ellery reaches out to pat Maisel.
Maisel, I think, stares without blinking at you for an unsettlingly long moment. Sniffs your hand, and then I think like looks at it very closely. And it's like, wow, is that goat gonna try to eat my hand? But then I think she just like grabs on. Do you have a long sleeve shirt on?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, cool. I grab onto that. I'm gonna try to eat your sleeve.
Ellery's
Maisel, down,
just
girl.
like, Ellery doesn't like do anything to move the goat away and is just sort of like, I guess there's a goat eating my sleeve now. Yeah.
Maisel like bumps like okay like does a headbutt at you while chewing on your sleeve.
I think Ellery just like sits there unmoving like, I've made a friend. And I think I'm gonna use the city job standing desk, endless endurance. And like with their other hand, they like ruffle this goat's ears and like pat her head.
Buckley just sort of
Good.
nods and says, "Oh, guess you like the cut of your jib." Also, at some point during the night, he throughout the conversation and throughout the night, he's just sort of like sipping on like this can of beer, and eventually, once it's empty, he just hands it to Maisel.
Oh boy. Yep.
Maisel tries to eat the can as well as drink it.
Mm-hmm.
Good. You do realize we have to add Maisel as an NPC now. Does Ellery have a light link with Maisel? Is that what happened?
I'd say so.
I fucking guess, yeah.
What's her last name? Maisel
Starshine.
Starshine?
Okay, great. I'm gonna write her down.
Oh, good.
I think she's black and white patches.
Uh-huh. I like this trend we started where apparently we're just counting animals as NPCs now. This is great.
Yeah,
This
all
is
of our
great.
townsfolk are going to be
Very
NPCs
important.
or animals.
Okay. Well, so far we only have 2 animal NPCs. This is fine. Does anyone else have a conversation thing at the fire pit?
I have one. One
Hell
of
yeah.
the prompts is you met someone new today, make up an NPC and talk about them. I think Maple went into town and was just like wandering about and like found someone who is like a winemaker. This is the guy economy, right? So everyone is just kind of doing their own things. And so this is just someone who, like, you know, takes in local grapes from, like, you know, around the area and just, like, makes them into nice wine. This NPC, I unfortunately was thinking and still haven't come up with a name, but I'm going to come up with one right off the dome right now. Her name is... Julia?
Have we lost January?
Hello?
Oh, did I disappear?
Okay.
Am I back?
You're back
You
now.
could cut out a bit.
Oh no, okay. I'm a little worried about my internet, but I think we're doing fine. This, do we hear the bit about the winemaker?
I heard that there was a winemaker. I didn't hear anything beyond that.
Okay. I appear to be
No.
audible.
We lost Carter.
Oh god. This is a real...
Hi, Carter.
Hi, Carter.
Kurt, are you there?
Yep, I'm back.
Cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm audible on stream, but just like my connection with Discord is cutting in and out. I think it's my Discord that's the issue. Yeah. Went to town, met a winemaker whose name I am going to try to pull off the top of my head. I've given myself so much extra time to not think about this name. Julia Jasperford is the name of this winemaker.
Ooh.
And I am going to fill in her likes and dislikes and drive. But I think she is a winemaker and also a Shakespearean actress. And I think she always makes wine while dressed in stage costumes. That's Julia Jasperford.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Oh, I love her.
That's extremely good.
That's the life you want.
Wow.
did you want to talk a bit about how Maple met her?
Yeah. So this was like, came into town just like checking out different stores. And actually, I'm gonna say that like Maple heard like the sounds of someone doing a soliloquy, from inside like a kind of smallish one-room house. Yeah, I think it went inside and there was just like this lady, oldish lady, in like a big black robe doing a Shakespeare scene. And yeah, I think they just got to chatting. Yeah.
Not to be that person, but like what Shakespeare play?
I was trying to think about this. I feel like the easy answer is Hamlet, but also I think it's really funny.
Yeah.
If she's doing like, I don't know, the not to be or not to be. That's like that would not be right for me. But like the
Alas, my dear Yorick.
oh my god, with like a big thing of grapes instead of a skull.
Yes.
That's actually a solid vibe. I like that.
Oh,
Could have like a skull-shaped goblet.
That's also really good. Also just has like huge like drapes all around the room to do the like Hamlet stabbing into the drapes, and it's actually what's his face? Laertes' dad. Polonius, thank you, yeah. So she can just kill Polonius at all hours of the day by accident.
Oh, that's good.
Very good.
Oh, she's phenomenal. Good.
Yeah, that's me.
Awesome.
Does anyone else have a thing here? If not, we can jump to the next mini game.
I think, yeah, Manny, I think I have just a very quick thing. I think I'm going to do, you had an exciting new experience today. What was it? And I think it's Manny just excitedly signing and telling everybody about, clearing out this pumpkin patch. And, it was difficult work and everything, but I learned something new and it was amazing. And I'm so happy to be here. And this is all just great. And I'm so grateful to start this adventure with you all, like just that whole kind of thing. Just very excited.
Ewan looks on and it turns to one of the townsfolk who doesn't know sign language and says to them basically what he said and explains to them basically what he's saying is that this whole thing and this whole place fucking rule.
Good.
I thought you were gonna say like sucks, and I was gonna be like no. But I'm glad Ewan is doing a good job. Very good.
Carter, did you have a scene here with Roz?
I can't hear Carter.
Oh no, Carter.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Real shenanigans happening in this here fire pit.
We try to have a nice talk around the fire.
I see Carter's thing is lit up, but I just can't hear him.
Yeah.
Still working.
Same. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi, my bad. Internet where I am is kind of iffy.
You're valid. Same on my end.
Apparently mine too.
Must be the
Did you
face.
have a scene?
I think actually I will pass this one.
Sure.
Valid.
Well, it is your mini game next, so.
I've been eyeing a magical surge, but I don't know if it's like too early
I love that one
in
so
the
much.
game to do
Nah,
that.
go for it.
Do
Okay.
Never too early for magical surge.
it.
Never too early for some supernatural bullshit. Okay.
Following your grandpa's
Magical-
footsteps.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
yeah. Well, maybe not directly in his footsteps. I
Not
would.
directly, but spiritually.
Uh-huh. Magical surge. Something amazing is happening. You can feel electricity in the air and magic in the walls. You need to take advantage of this. Setup is at least 2 people play. One is a farmer following the magical surge, and the other is the magic itself. The player portraying the magic asks at least 2 of the below questions to the farmer, but can ask more if they would like to. The game ends when the farmer gives up or the magic decides they've reached the end. So, who wants to take Roz on an adventure?
Me. Unless anyone else
Cool.
wants to.
Go for it.
Okay.
Okay. I guess before we ask any of these questions, the first thing is like we should establish where Roz is and what he's doing.
Like where is he? What is he doing? And then like what time of day it is. I feel like would all be good things to know.
Yeah,
I have an
I
idea
think
for like the
Yeah?
atmosphere.
what
Sort of like
what vibes?
early morning, like the sort of mist still in the forest, and like everything's a little damp, and there's a bit of fog.
Nice. Oh yeah, so maybe he's like just sort of walking through the pine forest around the trying to see if there's any like trails. Like I think there's a footpath that like leads off the farm into somewhere, and like he has curious. Also the graphic tee he's wearing is this one, the Great Godzilla off Kanagawa.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh my
You just had
God.
this ready to go.
I have
That's-
a tab open that was just a Google image search of graphic tees.
Hell yeah.
So good.
Anyway, but yeah, he's wearing that shirt and the Pops Blue Trucker hat, and he's going for a walk. So what happens first?
Oh boy. The player portraying the magic asks at least 2 of the below questions to the farmer, but can ask more if they want to. Okay, cool. Okay, let me see. Yeah, let's go with the lights are already low, but you feel a pull into deeper darkness. Do you follow it or call it a night and go home? In this case, it's early morning. And I think like it's like the sun hasn't quite risen yet. So I think the sky is like that kind of sort of like dark blue. That's going to gradually get lighter. But for this moment, I think it's almost like the sky is staying the exact same, like the sun has just stopped. That's what it feels like. And I think like the mist around you just gets thicker and thicker until you can't really see much in front of you. What do you do?
Oz looks at this and goes, "Huh, really wish I'd brought a compass with me." And like he tries and fails to remember like the tip as like an 8-year-old on the Discovery Channel, like, so like which side of the tree does the moss grow on? And like how do you navigate by starlight, or that kind of like pop wilderness survival that he just cannot remember because it's been like Yeah, he sort of. So, like, after he's tried all this tomfoolery, he just sort of goes. He picks a direction, and just starts walking, and figures like, well, if I don't find anything, I will turn around. Fog to clear. The sun's coming up eventually, right? Right? It'll be fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Fucking, it's fine.
I think the next thing that happens is there's something watching you, and no matter how hard you try, you cannot find it. Do you search it out or ignore it? And I think, like, the fog is still thick and the sky is still, like, relatively dark, but I think you're getting a sense of things. Like, it's not, I don't think you're completely, like, lost. I think you're starting to navigate this, like, okay, I'm just walking through this, and, you know, you probably trip on a root or whatever, but you're fine for the most part. It's okay. And I think you just gradually become aware of this, like, gaze on you. And it's not so much that you feel like a set of eyes looking at you. I think it's more just like a feeling and like the prickle on the back of your neck. And just like getting a sense that you are being observed by something probably very old, I would guess.
Roz goes, Hogsley? Is that what Ewan called you? Is that you? Please don't bother me. He for a while he debates between whether or not to take, like, you know, the bear tactic where, like, what you do is you just make as much noise as possible to, like, alert animals that you're, like, coming. It's like, because the thing with bears is, like, they tend to keep to themselves. It's only when, like, you surprise them or, like, you get between them and, like, their baby, say, or, like, essentially if you give them enough, like, advance warning, they tend to leave you alone. And yeah, he's debating between whether or not to just make a lot of noise or just keep walking, you know, do the city thing where you just kind of mind your own business.
Yeah. That's
I think, yeah, I think he errs on the side of just saying out loud and feeling incredibly foolish as he does so, but he says, hey, just passing through. Don't mind me. And he starts walking faster.
Okay. I think the last thing I'm going to do is you arrive at a table covered in items. You get the sense you're supposed to leave something behind here. Do you leave something or take something instead? I think that you kind of, it's not so much that you arrive at a table as you kind of bump into it. I think it's like a really large old stone table that's like covered in ivy and plants and stuff. I think there aren't any chairs. There's just like these items all over. Some of it just looks like trash, or like really old trash, like really old like posters or really old like just, I don't know, like really old like rusting like cans. Some of it is like jewelry, some of it is just like scraps of cloth, some of it is like whole outfits. There's probably a big pair of boots underneath the table. Weirdly well polished. Just like a whole lot of stuff.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are any of the things, like, on or around the table something Roz would recognize as his grandfather's?
It's a good thing you asked that, because I think, Roz, I think the boots look familiar to you.
Oh boy. He just sort of looks at them and feels like a little bit of a sinking feeling. Because, you know, he knows that, like, his grandpa, like, disappeared. So like finding what looks like a pair of his things like abandoned here, it doesn't feel great.
Mhm.
But he sees that like, well, a lot of people left stuff here, so maybe it's just the thing you do. And so I think what he does, because like he just went out for a walk, like the things he has on him are like his cell phone out of habit, and then like the house keys. So like he can't really leave stuff there. But then he like thinking about the shoes, he gets a brainwave. So like he takes his own shoes off, takes off his socks and just like folds them into a pair and leaves them on top of the boots. And it's a very chafy walk back because you don't want to be like barefoot in like hiking boots. But he does his best.
That's so sweet.
That's very good. Okay. At the end of the game, the player portraying the surge decides what the farmer's reward is. It can be anything, including increasing a farm stat, finishing a project at the farm instantly, or changing a link. The path back home is always easy. The path in. I think, let me look at our farm. I think I'm gonna increase our comfort level by 1.
Yes.
I think when you return, I don't know what that looks like actually. I mean, like, I guess it just looks like there are suddenly more accommodations, like, you know, places to store things. Yeah, I think it's just like more cupboard space, like actual beds, like that kind of situation.
Roz just sort of looks at he opens the door, he sees the way that the farm has changed, goes, huh, and then resolutely refuses to think about it ever again.
Yeah, I think what it looks like is on the outside the farmhouse looks completely as it did. On the inside it just looks a little different and a little larger, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So bumping up to a 2 on the comfort scale, the description is a cot, a tight kitchen, your own private space, Kmart brand snacks. we have a kitchen now, I guess.
Yay!
Yeah.
Look at us go.
So now we play Wear and Tear, which we play after every third game.
Do we want to take a break before or after the wear and tear?
I'm pretty sure we take a break afterwards. Let me double check.
Yeah, you take a break after the wear and tear.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Time continues to press on at the farm. Things will inevitably wear down and need to be repaired. Increase one of your farm stats by 1.
Shit, we're
Describe
like
what a lot of
speedrunning.
you are fixing up and how you are doing it. Where did you get the parts you're using? What's hard about the repairs? What will be improved now that you've done them? So what do you think we're fixing up?
So a part of me wants to bump up beauty just to get it to match.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. What if we, like, repaint the house?
Ooh, I like that.
Paint the house.
Yeah.
Gonna
Like, we're
unbreak
sort
those.
Unbreak the windows. I think that's just replacing the panes. But yes, you can absolutely unbreak a window.
Yeah. It's the same way you unbroke the letter from your grandparent.
With tape?
Yeah. With tape. Listen,
Just taping the windows back together.
Maple, you know, problems the 2007 Hyundai Sonata has been through some tough times, and sometimes you've just got to tape up a window. It's not the worst thing.
It's a hell of a tape job that like the window still goes down and back up without any problems after.
Yeah.
go down without any? Does it go down like that?
Oh boy. Where did we get the stuff we're using?
Good question.
Okay, I have a very extremely silly pitch.
Yes.
Yes.
How we get the paint. So
Yes.
Maple Starshine likes abstract art, and her drive is to eat good food and to make good art. I think
Just show up a fucking bucket of paint.
uh-huh.
Oh my god. Incredible.
Oh, good. Can Maisel just stay while we're painting?
Oh yeah, Maisel's painting
Maisel's
out.
helping.
Maisel's absolutely like dipping, like, okay, she probably gets her whole body covered in paint and then just like slams into the walls and just paints that way.
She headbutts into a wall and then slides sideways.
Yep.
That's so cute.
God.
Oh my god.
I think she also just like bleats emphatically at people if they've like missed a spot or if like
Oh, absolutely. If a spot is missed, people
uneven.
know about it.
Ellery's definitely letting her chew part of their clothes.
Maple's very
Uh-huh.
pleased. Sorry, Maisel. Maisel's very pleased.
Okay.
God.
Each player should pick one of the following prompts and answer it. This is page 24. Does anyone have any strong feelings about prompts?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ewan watches from a distance as someone else is watching.
But who are you watching? What have you learned from watching them, Ewan?
What have you learned?
I think I'm learning. I think the thing that I've learned is that I think the person that I'm watching is Maisel. What I've learned from watching them is that I mean, this goat is like we describe this goat as like slamming into a wall and sliding sideways.
Yep.
I think what Ewan has learned from watching Maisel is that A, veterinary skills are very important in this town, and B, that it doesn't necessarily matter that you are effective at what you're doing. What matters is that you try very hard, and then people are and then people will warm up to you eventually.
I think
Does
definitely
this mean
for,
you
like-
have a heart link with Maisel?
Actually, yes, maybe.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh
I think
my god.
I think this is very much a moment where Ewan is like, yeah, I'll have to work harder around the farm and impress my friends and really do better, which is a promise that he maybe intends to keep for like maybe 30 seconds.
Oh, good.
But it's a promise he very definitely believes for those 30 seconds.
I guess that's progress.
Mm-hmm.
I think also for little spots that people miss, Maisel will either bleat incessantly until someone comes over and fixes it, or she will like find paint and like dip her hoof in it and then like go over and then like hoof paint the spot over.
I love this.
This goat is gonna return home covered in paint.
Oh, absolutely. And Buckley's gonna
Oh,
feel
we can
like
wash her.
exactly. Oh, true.
That might actually be something Ewan can genuinely help with, because the farm job he acquired from using Yes, of Course I'm Done is ZooPal's subscription, which is perform minor veterinary doctoring. I think cleaning paint off a goat counts.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
Okay. I have an idea, but I don't know if I should go next with it or not. So if anyone else has an idea before me,
Go for it.
then do it. Okay. because Manny's very sentimental. He's taken pictures to commemorate this improvement.
Good.
What does pictures look like? Who is in them? And I think Manny takes a bunch of pictures. I think on just like an old Polaroid camera, because he's like that. I think he also takes pictures on his phone too, so he's both. He alternates. And I think like first is a lot of Maisel, because wow, what an absolute delight. I think like definitely like zooming in to get you in looking at Maisel. I think also just like generally in like candid shots, so they're not like particularly flattering pictures. It's probably a lot of people just like hunched over painting, or like on a ladder painting, getting paint on them. Just like taking a break or whatever. It's nothing wildly exciting or good. But Manny wants to like capture the day and like the bonding experience of it all. I think probably the one that he is going to keep in his breast pocket is he has like a big flannel on at all times. Is I think just like a photo of the group, probably like after it's done. I don't even think of the house. I think it's just like of the group just like lying down after it's done or whatever, just vibing and hanging out.
Nice.
Fantastic. I can go as well. Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Carter's thing's green, but I can't hear him.
No, me neither. I hope you're not talking, Carter.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Well, this happens.
Well, he can hear
sometimes.
apparently, so that's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Carter, do you want to try talking?
I feel like Carter is probably trying to talk.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. Yeah, I think he's gonna leave and rejoin.
Cool. Be back.
Two is now.
Oh.
Ooh.
You're very choppy.
Uh-oh. Of course, my internet waits until now to do this.
I think we're a little
you're
better.
coming clear.
You sound okay
You're coming in now.
Yeah.
Well, as long as people can hear me, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
I think
Okay.
you're good.
If it gets rough, we will work it out.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm good to go, I was gonna suggest, oh no, someone got hurt during the repairs. What happened? Whose experiences minimize the damage? How has the injured party helped, and are they able to recover? Does anyone want to volunteer to get hurt?
I will.
Yeah?
Okay.
How did you get hurt, do you think?
Sorry. Is it okay if I get hurt? Does anyone else want to volunteer to
Yeah,
be
no,
injured?
go for it.
Please, yeah.
Okay, great. I think. How did I get injured?
Is this a cooking-related injury? Is this like a burn?
No, because I have the skill. Hot hands. I feel no pain, so
Ooh.
I think I'm good.
Nice.
So I don't think it's cooking related. I think it's house painting related. I think I get a really nasty splinter.
Oof.
I think I am painting, and I think I'm painting like really intensely. I think I'm trying to get this one spot that like is refusing to get painted over well, and I like stick my hand on the spot, and then it's like, ooh, I get a bad splinter.
Oh no. In that case, I feel like I might be able to help with this because like I've probably been doing a lot of weeding lately. And you know, you get thorns stuck in your fingers sometimes, and I think pulling out a splinter is not too different from pulling out a thorn. And so I think Maple has like tweezers on hand and is able to kind of give Manny a bit of a help there.
Yeah.
Do you think you're able to
Yeah,
return
Manny's
to
just
work?
like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely. Manny is big and has definitely suffered worse injuries.
Totally.
For sure. I think like the whole time he has a splinter in his hand, he's just signing. He's signing with the other hand, one-handed. It's curses, just streams of curses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like while doing that, Maple will also be trying to like match all of your curses or like add on to them as much as possible, also in sign.
Yeah, that helps. Manny laughs at that.
feeling
Definitely
your
like
pain.
yeah. Comes up with more creative swears throughout
Yeah.
the whole process.
Exactly.
Carter, did you want to go? Otherwise, I've got a thing.
Yes, I was going to do. You provide an extra set of hands during someone else's part of the setup. Describe how you help each other and change your link. Yeah, so I guess who am I helping?
Who are you helping?
Probably not Ewan.
Maybe you're helping Ewan.
Helping you and
I get that. That's an interesting question, just because I don't know what that help looks like if you're just standing by and watching.
Help you and get involved.
I mean, or alternatively, which is the option that Ewan would prefer, legitimize him standing around and not doing anything by talking to him. Because one thing he likes better than not working is talking about how he's not working.
Cool. Great. Yeah, so I think what Roz is going to do is like he sees Ewan standing off to the side and says, "So I guess you're the foreman now, huh?"
You know, listen. I always wanted to supervise.
Oh, boy.
Weren't you a student when we were in the city?
I mean, that was. What do you think I wanted to supervise?
Fair enough. Well, I guess if you're going to supervise, how do you think we're gonna get a good coat? I was going to say on the second floor. Does the farm have a second floor?
I think it does. Many farmhouses do.
I think it probably has like an attic and is like a tall building.
Okay.
like Ewan thinks about this and goes, I mean, my guess would be somebody's gotta find a ladder.
I have an answer to this in my scene, so this is very funny.
Wait, what?
I have an answer to this in my scene idea, so this is quite funny.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, basically, without being explicitly stopped, Ewan's going to speculate about possible places where you could find a ladder.
I think that's a good place to like transition on into Ellery's scene, though we do have to figure out how my link to Ewan changes.
It can just strengthen. So bonds in Wishing Well have the like 3 different intensities. I don't know. There's standard, locked, and bonded. So it could just become a locked link.
Yeah,
You realize
I
you have
think...
nothing to learn from Ewan and develop a dark link.
It could also change, but
That is dark.
Wow.
That is. I don't know if I want to make it dark just yet.
We can come back to that if you'd like.
Yeah, I think so.
So, the idea for a scene I have is for the prompt, you've asked some friends from town to come in and help. Do they show up? What do they bring and how do they help? And I think this is just Maisel coming with the paint.
Yeah.
And I think Ellery, to reach like the higher up areas, has climbed onto the roof and is hanging over the edge holding Maisel, and Maisel's painting
Oh my
the
god.
walls.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And I'm also gonna get the farm experience sea legs, which is perfect balance.
Oh my god, I also have a thing related to perfect balance. But that's my city skills.
I love the idea of Ellery just hanging over the roof of this building, holding out a goat that's painting the walls.
Uh-huh.
And then I also get to change my link with them depending on the answer. And I think my light link with Maisel is gonna become a locked link. We're better friends now because we've
Incredible.
painted
Oh
a
my God.
house together.
Yes.
That's
I'm
very
updating that on
sweet.
Maisel's sheet. Oh, you did already. Okay, great.
Yep.
Love how you're making
That
friends with the
one.
goat.
Locked link.
Yep.
I if that's everyone, I think we take the break now.
Yeah,
Think a 10-minute comeback at the top of the hour?
something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
It works
good.
for me.
All right.
And while we're at the top of the hour, why don't you drop $1 or $2 in that wishing well? Top of the
Mhm.
hour, wishing well. That doesn't rhyme, but that's okay.
Okay,
Alright.
drop your money in the wishing well. That's
Yeah.
that's what
Toss a coin to your wishing well.
exactly.
All
A
right.
Valley of Plenty.
Exactly.
Oh, Valley of Whisker.
Valley of Whisker.
Valley of Whisker.
All right. Catch y'all later.
Catch you all in a bit.
believe we're back.
Awesome. So
I guess we'll find out.
Woo!
Woo.
did we want to go with Emily's minigame then? And then HB's?
Oh, sure.
Just sticking with the Discord order.
Yeah, works for me.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me double check. Mini games. I want to talk with the townsfolk.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Let me scroll. Where is that game?
Page 25.
Ah, I found it. It doesn't happen often, but today is an easy day. The chores are done, the farm is intact, nothing is on fire. It's time to head into the town to meet and chat with townsfolks. Great. 2 people play. Ooh, you need a deck of cards for this game.
Yeah.
The goal of this game is to get 3 pairs of cards. One person plays a farmer, and the other person plays one of the townsfolks. Shuffle the deck, then have both players draw 7 cards and state a goal for the conversation. Do we have the same goal? Interesting.
I think you can have separate goals, reading down the rest of the rules.
Okay, yes. Now that I read with my eyes, I see that it can in fact be different. Okay, hell yeah. Cool. Let me look at our NPC list real quick. Okay, I really want to meet Frangelico, but I also...
Yes.
I think it has to be Sarah. I want to meet Sarah. I want to meet Sarah Brinkley.
Okay.
The retired park ranger, the closest thing the town has to a doctor and animal control, long hair, as much denim as she can get away with. She likes pine trees and silver jewelry, and dislikes seafood and alcohol generally. Her drive is to establish a free clinic in Whisker Valley. Yeah, I want to meet Sarah. I think what this looks like is that, like, on like a relatively easy day, Manny has like a bit of a break before like prepping for dinner and stuff, and like obviously he does other stuff around the house and throughout the farm property and stuff, but his main thing is cooking, and I think like he goes out to like buy ingredients and stuff, but I think before he does that, he bakes like a whole bunch of muffins. I think they're just all chocolate chip. They're all chocolate chip cinnamon muffins. They're like mini muffins.
Ooh,
And
that's a good combo.
Yes. We have like I think like obviously the kitchen is still way too small, like not very great, but like it's functional now. And Manny's just like, I'm taking as much advantage of this as possible, and can now bake a whole lot of muffins. So I think, yeah, it's a cinnamon chocolate chip muffins. And he's just like going throughout the town, and he like is technically there on like a grocery errand, but really is just wanting to like meet people and literally just like handing them muffins.
Nice.
And then saying hello and stuff. So yeah, he's wandering around with a basket of muffins, and I think that's how he will meet Sarah.
Would anyone like to play Sarah Brinkley?
I'll do it.
Cool. Emily, did you want to pop into the roll 20 we've got for the deck of cards?
Yes. You know what I should do? Open the roll 20. I forgot to do. Thank
And
you.
then we can suffer with trying to use a deck of cards and roll 20.
Ha ha ha.
Oh, I hope my internet can handle this. Pray for me.
Actually, just as a potential suggestion, if we don't use Roll20, use playingcards.io instead.
I remembered
That is-
someone saying a thing and couldn't remember which one it was. Playingcards.io.
I am opening Wishing Well.
How do I use this?
Let me just do this.
Oh no. Oh no.
Let's try
This one?
playingcards.io because
Oh,
it's less
boy.
internet intensive than Roll20.
There we go. Oh
We
dear.
just lost Emily.
Okay,
Yep,
good.
cool.
I'm
Not
back.
using
Yay!
Roll20.
No, thank God. For hot, I hate it always does that. Okay. Here I
HP's
am.
made a thing.
Oh,
So
thank you,
just need
HB.
to click the thing.
Let's
Okay.
see. Where are some cards?
Do we mind using playingcards.io
Okay.
instead?
No, that's fine.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're there.
Something's going on with that. Something's going on with Emily. I think
Something is, and I don't know what. Hang on.
you're getting feedback from yourself. I think.
You were you had your microphone on the Roll20. I closed the Roll20 because it was doubling
Okay.
on the stream, but it is
Ah.
Oh, sorry about that. God damn. I keep trying to fix that in Roll20, and then it doesn't work. Anyway, here we are. Playingcards.io. Thank you, HP.
Use playingcards.io if you need regular playing cards. Don't use Roll20.
I don't know how to use this.
You're so valid.
I think I put a deck of cards on there.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you can just drag a card off.
Yeah. Yeah, so the people in the conversation can just draw the requisite number of cards and then put it in like that little white bar at the bottom of your screen. That serves as your hand.
Gotcha. Okay, I have it figured out. I've taken 7 cards.
Okay, then I will take 7 cards.
And you gotta each state a goal for the conversation.
My goal is... Let me check my likes and drives one more time. My goal is to eat half of your muffins or more.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. My goal is to make a friend.
I think these are compatible.
Very. These are compatible goals.
Oh, good.
Okay, great. Take turns. On your turn, ask the other player a question, let your conversation partner respond, then ask for one of their cards to try and complete a pair in your hand. If they don't have the card you asked for, either draw from the deck or spend a skill to ask for a different one, which is so fun. If you've already drawn from the deck once and do not want to spend any skills, it's the next player's turn. Okay, great. Hell yeah.
Cool.
Cool. All right. I feel like it just makes sense, I guess, if I go first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get to ask. Okay, I ask you a question, and then we do the card thing. So, okay, yeah, I think. Yep, literally the first interaction is where do I run into you? Is it just like throughout town, or do you have like a spot?
I think I hang out pretty close to, I want to say the far edge of town, like close to sort of like, I feel like, I want to say like the forested area, like kind of in the far wilderness. I think I come into town to stock up on supplies and stuff. So yeah, I think I'm in town, I'm kind of near the edge, near the wilderness, but I'm coming into town to like get my bandages and, disinfectant and stuff that I need.
Mm-hmm. Navigate the guy economy.
Navigate the guy economy as you do.
Yeah. Cool. I think Manny's going to just like spot you from a distance and then like kind of just like walk on over. I think first
Yeah, I think it's just, signing with both hands. I think he's got just like the basket like around their elbow or whatever. And just signing, do you need a hand? And then also signs, do you like cinnamon and chocolate?
I think we will say that Sarah's very worldly and attentive. I think she has picked up sign language and knows how to sign. And responds, "No, I don't need a hand. Yes, I do like cinnamon and also chocolate." I like where this is going.
Okay, cool. Okay. Respond and ask for one of their cards to try to complete a pair. Okay, cool. So I'm looking at my hand and asking for, okay, do you have a 5 of diamonds?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Wait, are we looking for pairs as in like...
I don't know what that... I don't know.
I mean, that'll be like pair as in 2 of the same number.
I think just 2 of the same number.
Yeah, because there's
Makes
only
sense
one
to
deck.
me.
So there's
Exactly.
only one
Yeah,
five
I don't know
of
why.
diamonds.
I don't know why I was like of
Yeah.
diamonds. Do you have 5?
I do
at
not
all?
have. I do not have a 5 now.
You're forgiven. I'm gonna spend a skill.
Nice.
Let me look at my skills. The city experience skill I'm going to spend is hot behind. Avoid disaster with communication. And I think do you have an 8?
I do not have an 8 now.
Oh.
Aw.
Okay. You're forgiven.
Womp womp.
I think I'll let you go now.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, are you interested in, like, coming down to my, like, house/office/medical center sometime to, like, are you interested in picking up some medical skills?
Manny smiles real big and is also like handing you muffins throughout this interaction.
I am taking them.
If you give a vet a muffin.
Exactly.
If you have like, okay, are you like, I've been picturing you like lugging supplies. Is that accurate, or do you just have like some stuff on you? I don't know what your setup is.
A decent amount of stuff. I think it can be. I think it's funnier if it's like lugging supplies. Yeah. I like that.
Awesome. So then in this case, it's like we trade. I give you some muffins, and then I take some of your stuff, to help you like live with the load and everything.
Yeah.
And you asked if I wanted to come. Yeah, I think Manny's just like nodding enthusiastically, big smile, signing, just like, yeah, I'd love to. That sounds great. Are you a doctor?
I've doctored. I know my way around a wound. Yeah, there's people in this town who wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. I think. Probably.
You think?
Probably. I mean, they're looking great, aren't they? Everyone in this town looks great.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god. Great.
Do you have a 7?
Do I have a 7? Let me look real quickly. Oh, no.
Okay, I'm gonna draw from the deck then. I have 3 pairs.
Oh shit!
Already?
Already.
What?
My initial opening hand had 2 pairs.
Oh my god.
I have 3.
I'm losing my mind.
I have 2 3s, 2 queens, and 2 aces.
Oh my god.
You ate so many muffins.
I ate so many
I'm
muffins.
trying to imagine how this happens, and I think it's just like, I don't know. I feel like just like walking over to you and just like grabbing 4 muffins at once.
Well, yes, and it's also Manny like handing you muffins. Like I think you're the last person that he's going to like meet in this like roundup of like doing some shopping and also getting to know townspeople.
Yeah.
So I think he has like a lot of leftover muffins because he baked like way too much. And he's like,
I mean, there's so many goats in this town.
Exactly.
that was his backup plan, but he was like, well, if I could just
feed the
foist
muffins
these
to
onto
goats.
Exactly. Just if I can foist these onto like a townsperson before I go back, because I already have extra at home, then that would be great. So I think he's literally just like you are taking muffins, and he's also handing them to you, just enthusiastically.
That's
like,
so
please take
funny.
these.
Yeah, no.
That's so funny. Fucking.
And I think, just like continually dropping stuff for you to pick up. And then I think at some point, Sarah's like, listen, you why don't you come over, like, or assigning rather, like, why don't you come over to help me bake these instead of, I'll teach you a bit of doctoring, but maybe you can teach me how to make these muffins.
Yeah, Betty smiles real big again. It just is like, that would be great. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah.
What's your name?
I'm Sarah. Sarah Brinkley. I'm the doctor around these parts. Or,
Okay.
I doctor a little. I dabble in doctoring.
Well, Manny's laughing. I think again, just like huge grin. It's just like, well, nice to meet you, Dr. Sarah. I'm Manny.
Manny.
I have a lot of names, but you can just call me Manny.
Manny, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Does Manny come over now, or is this like a making plans to do this later type thing?
I think this is making plans to do this later.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think he's like, well,
You'll
I gotta
bring
get
the
back to
second
the
batch
farm.
of muffins.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's just like, well, I'm all out of muffins. Gotta go back to the farm.
Yeah, bring more.
Yes. Will do. Just like does a little salute and walks off.
That must be the fastest talk with the townsfolk game
Yeah, that was
that
wild.
has
That was
ever
literally
been
2
played.
seconds.
That was so good.
I love the conversation where you just go up to someone and it's like, hey, hi, nice to meet you. Can I have all of your muffins, please? And then you just leave.
And they give you the muffin.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Manny's very friendly and loves to give people food.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation.
Do you want to take a link with Sarah?
Yeah, I'll take a link with Sarah.
What kind
It's
of
a
link,
light-
I guess, is the
I think it's a
question.
light link.
Cool.
The most Harvest Moon interaction.
Oh, absolutely.
You say 2 sentences and then leave with 4 muffins?
This is the romanceable NPC where you figure out what gift they like and then you're just giving
and then
them
you just
like
load them
80
up
of
with
it.
muffins.
God, literally, Manny got so lucky with these muffins. Apparently, Sarah's a big fan.
Yeah. It's just you pack your inventory full of 80 muffins and then read the one canned voice line as you just give them over one at a time.
See, Elsa games I've only played Stardew and you're limited to 2 gifts a week, but this is deeply funny.
Oh my god.
I can't believe
Yeah.
we're actually having the fucking We have a tutorial character. We have the 80 muffin courtship. It's great.
We're
It's great.
truly making ourselves a video game here.
It's very good.
I'm best friends with an autistic goat.
Uh-huh.
Here we go.
We're winning. We're winning this game.
It's time
HP,
for
I
a
believe.
Ewan scene. Yeah.
Time for
Yeah.
Ewan scene,
Ewan.
and I've done some thinking about what I would like to play, and I think it's gotta be a lovely night.
Oh my.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Who are you?
Yes,
Who-
yes,
okay.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Who are you dating, Ewan?
The moon is bright, spirits are up, and you're both here tonight. But is that enough? It's date night, and let's hope it goes well. So, first of all, 3 hours earlier.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So Ewan is Ewan is on his regular
Is
walk.
this with
kind of-
Hogsley?
he is talking to Hogsley. He's like on his regular walk, and I think how I picture
Uh-huh.
Hogsley talking is like in a Yakuza side quest where there's somebody
Yeah.
makes a noise and then text plays out.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the impression. It's just like a hog snuffling noise, and then like a very complicated sentence comes out.
Yep, exactly.
And I think today Hogsley declares that there's one final thing Hogsley has to teach Ewan, and that is how to date.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
and
There's
for a
lots
moment,
of middle distance when I'm gone from this mortal coil.
and for a
When I
moment,
leave this, when I transcend this earthly shell behind, leave it behind.
yeah. And for a moment, Ewan furrows his brow in obvious concern. Then Hogsley says, "No, not with me."
Good. Oh.
And Hogsley suggests
Thank
somebody else, and I'm going to
God.
defer this to all of you. Who should Ewan
We
go on a
haven't seen
tutorial date with?
Frangelico Splendid yet.
I
I'm
was
just
gonna
saying.
say,
Yeah.
I need to see Ewan with Frangelico Splendid.
Yeah, 'cause-
Please.
Initially, I thought Sarah Brinkley because that's who Hogsley would talk to, but Frangelico Splendid makes Frangelico Splendid. I just desperately need to see that.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the idea that how this starts up is that Hogsley and Ewan go on to Frangelico, and Hogsley like snuffles at him for a little bit. Then Frangelico nods,
Oh my god.
You're being set up
and
for
then
the
we launch
hot.
into the date.
Would I be
Hogsley
able to
is a
play
real one.
Frangelico?
Would you be? Yes, you would be able to play Frangelico.
Unless
Go
anyone
for
has
it.
strong feelings.
Please start by giving the description and everything.
Yes.
So Frangelico Splendid is literally just the wizard from Stardew. Alternatively, Steve Buscemi
Buscemi.
in Fargo. He is a stage magician, charlatan, beekeeper, candle maker. He likes, "Is this your card?" and honey. He dislikes loud noises that upset his beehive. His drive is to make flavors of honey that have never been tasted before. He has a dark link with Copeland, the younger, because they're rival wizards. And a heart link with Sarah. I can't remember the reasoning behind that one, though.
It's
Oh, I think-
valid, is what it is.
I think I remember what it was just like Sarah wields a lot of respect within the community, and like Frangelico, the charlatan, is like, gotta get me some of that. How do you do it?
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a quick pitch for why Copeland the Younger is so sensitive about the Younger title.
Mhm.
What if Frangelico is the older brother?
Yo!
Oh my god. What a twist.
Frangelico Copeland, the older, splendid.
He changed his
Frangelico
name.
Splendid is the stage name.
Exactly. It's I mean, like, but it's also his real name in that way, you know.
Oh, that's so good.
It's his name.
His name is Frangelico Splendid.
His name is Frangelico Splendid. There's no other title that he
Any-
goes by.
yeah.
Setup.
At least one person is on the date. The rest are either helping as players or interfering as players or the world.
Oh, good.
So Ewan is on the date, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So's Frangelico.
And the rest are either helping as players or interfering as players or the world. So make a pool of helping dice, starting at 1 die and adding 1 additional die per skill used to help the date along. So starting at 1 die, I think I'll mark 2 skills here.
Oh.
And those are
here.
first, Scrounger, make the most out of the least. Because I think he's managed to get his hands on like I think he's managed to get his hands on like well, Ewan's managed to get his hands on like some not great honey, but enough honey, but like interesting enough honey that it is like prove himself as worth Frangelica's time, because you gotta have gifts. And I think procrastination station to get something done adequately at the last second. I think this is literally Ewan realized that he's gonna have to date this man and taking this very seriously. Goes ahead and disappears behind the tree and comes back kind of cleaned up.
Interesting.
I just POV. The Razorback boar approaches you and tells you you must go on a date with the shitty beekeeper stage magician. Just.
I am literally also just picturing Job from Arrested Development. So this is very
absolutely.
This is good.
Strong Job energy.
Okay, so that's 2 extra dice, and add an additional die if you play into a like that the date goers have, which is honey. And let's see.
What's the date? What does this look like?
It has like a big tutorial date energy where you what you know about this man is that he really likes honey and magic. Like these are just he's a very straightforward guy.
Frangelico Splendid is nothing but nope. Is not straightforward. What's the opposite of that?
Definitely not straight. So.
Convoluted.
Gay backward. Frangelico Splendid is nothing but gay backward. Yag. It's yag. Good. Okay.
Okay, great.
Very good. So that's
I really
4
don't
dice.
want to help or interfere.
I'm willing to interfere. Roz wouldn't interfere, but I'm willing to be meddling circumstance.
I am also willing to interfere, and the interfering role I will be playing is the role of Truffles.
I will help, and I will be Cogsley.
Yes.
Good.
Oh, very nice. So, I have 5 dice, I think. 2 skills, 1 help, 1 like. Plus 1 start with.
And 2 skills. Cogsley helping, and honey. Yeah, 5. And then interfering is
2 dice.
Yeah, and that's Truffles. and
bad luck.
Bad luck.
Okay, I'm gonna roll 5 dice. 5, 4, 5, 3, 3.
Okay.
That's pretty good, actually.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah. I can roll the 2 interference stuff.
Go for it.
Or do you want the interfering player to roll their own die?
Go for it.
I have a 4.
Oh, I'll do mine too. I have a 2.
Yeah. Okay. Also, Christ, that gift in the
Yeah, I'm just watching this gif of Job, and I'm loving it.
So good.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Ugh.
Roll
So, yeah.
both pools of dice separately. You've done that.
A good date needs setting, ambiance, food, and charm. Each die from the helping roll can be spent on one of these categories and counts as its value. Multiple dice can be added together to a category to increase the value. And then interference dice can be used to subtract from the value of a category. Wow. Every time a die is spent, describe a scene of your character or the world around them, ensuring that number.
Fuck. Okay.
Setting, ambiance, food, and charm.
Okay. I think. I'm gonna put a 5 in ambiance. So, because the thing is, like, despite this being like, I think this is outside on a lovely, beautiful night. Like, this is the kind of night you'd kill for to have a date on. And there's just like, and even if basically all they're doing is like, basically all they're doing is like having a walk and eating food, then it's still a pretty good ambiance.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful night.
Sure is.
Do we go back? Wait, do we go back
I
and
feel like
forth with positive and negative?
I feel like it makes the most sense to do positive and then to do negative afterwards. It's like a
Yeah.
Mhm.
Was that the 5 in ambience?
yes.
Yeah, there's a 5 in ambiance. There's I think the setting. I think the setting is the one I'm going to put the 3 in. Because that's like, this is kind of this is kind of an impromptu date.
Well, you could add the 2
It's one of those.
threes.
Oh, that's true. You could do that.
Let's see. Then I'm going to.
There's
Then there.
the 4 categories, but you've rolled 5 dice, so you can add some together.
Yeah. Then I'm going to put a. Let's see, what other ones do I have? So I had 5, 4, 5, 3, 3. So setting is 3, ambiance is 5. I think food is 5 because we can like I think we genuinely just have like a lot of. I think Huxley gets us some good food. Actually, no, Huxley gets us some truffles. That's where the truffles come in.
Exactly.
The truffles are meant to be interference, aren't they?
Oh, we'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Listen, Huxley has
That's
nutritional
ominous.
requirements that are like far lower than human nutritional requirements.
Oh yeah, Hogsley like is like snuffling, and you're like, what is it? And Hogsley like produces, I don't know, like have they been carrying truffles in their mouth and then they just roll it over to you? Anyway, they're
Ewan
delicious.
doesn't see a problem here.
No, that's what happens.
Hmm.
And also just digs for truffles right in front of you and procures these fresh, beautiful truffles.
Yeah. And I'm going to put the 4 in charm because I think these are fundamentally like 2 dirtbags who just kind of get on well together.
What does the conversation look like? I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be some interaction here.
Yeah, I think it's like I think this is like when Ewan finally opens up about how kind of overwhelmed he has been about like this whole experience. He's just like I mean, wow, I never knew that I never knew that pig could know so much, you know.
Yes, well, many animals have lots of secrets that we don't know. My bees, for example, they have so many things they can tell me.
Oh yeah. Like with genuine interest. What kind of interesting things do they tell you?
All sorts of things. Mostly the gossip happening in the hive.
Hell yeah.
Just this morning, Veronica Bee was spotted. Jennifer sneaking off with one of the drones.
Oh yeah, messy bitches. That's the bees I know.
Oh,
Oh my god. Okay.
like the gossip. They imagine the gossip turns like increasingly salacious as they discuss bees.
yes.
The birds and the bees.
That,
Oh, don't even get me fucking started on the birds.
Sentence, huh? Okay.
Carter's become a
where
robot
do
again.
I- where do I want to spend
Become a
my
robot.
Oh Christ.
Oh wait, no, you're back.
Okay.
Oh, am
we're
I?
good. Yeah.
I've stopped being a robot. Okay, cool.
HB, you still have a 3 left if you wanted to put it in a thing.
I mean, I think I'm gonna put the 3 in charm. I think it just. I think they
Boost up the charm.
Yeah, it's like
They just really hit it off.
just incredibly hit it off.
So now we assign the interfering dice. I am going to take the 2 from truffles and subtract from the 5 in food to get 3. I think what you find very rapidly is that truffles and honey are kind of a nasty combination. And I think you try to get like a truffled honey thing going, and it's just like not good. Like, it's just very upsetting and disappointing, and you're kind of like both really hoping that it would be good, and it just wasn't.
I think an added element to this is that there's a shot of I think wow, I'm forgetting your characters. Ewan. There's a shot of Ewan like sensing that Hogsley's gaze is upon him. And he turns and Hogsley is staring from a distance, but you can tell that they're deeply disappointed.
The judging eyes of your hog friend. Imagine if like the tutorial character in your RPG was just staring at you while you were on a date. Now imagine that that's a hog.
In Stardew, that would be Maya Lewis, and I don't like it.
No.
That's very bad.
No, just like.
Is Carter bot back?
Okay. Where do I want?
Beep boop.
Geez. I'm gonna try stopping and see if that does something.
Okay.
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 Hello.
Mm.
Is it still robot?
Oh, it's
No.
better.
No robot.
Back,
It's
you're
much
good.
better.
You've unrobot.
There we go. It's like it's this entire time I've been like swapping on and off from like Wi-Fi and data, just turning the internet spigot and hoping the water comes out clean.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's alright. We're
I have
almost
a
done.
4. Where am I sticking it?
It's the real question. What are you nerfing here?
I feel like I kind of have to nerf. Do I want to nerf charm to make it even, or do I want to like just do something horrible to the ambiance?
I feel like fucking with the
Please do
ambiance would be
something horrible
very
to the
funny.
ambiance.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 to the ambiance, and what happens is I know what happens. You run into a bear who takes interest in your honey.
Wait, oh my god, is this like Honey Heist?
You stumble into someone
can
else's
be.
game of Honey Heist?
You stumbled into a game of Honey Heist?
That's the fucked up thing. It's several bears. Different bears
There's like a
working
panda
together.
and a polar bear and a brown bear.
Frangelico Splendid does not like bears.
Shit, toss the honey. Like basically, Ewan's reaction to this is like if cops had caught you with weeds.
Wait, does that mean
No,
your reflex
the
is just to hurl the blunt at the cop? Like,
No, it's like
Bears are just some of them are like wearing uniforms. Some of them aren't.
have hats on.
I can't believe we're also playing Honey Heist.
And they like have to they have to toss the honey and then just take off at a dead sprint. There's some trees. All the bears are distracted.
I have a pitch for this.
Now this is my kind of date.
As these bears are like scuttling, running, roaring away with this honey, I think one of them, who I think I'm going to say is a moon bear, turns back, and in Copeland the Younger's voice goes,
I'm sorry.
Yes.
goes, I hope you had a fantastic date, brother, and runs off.
Oh my god.
Oh,
What
good.
the fuck?
Unreal.
That's so good. Okay.
I'm losing it. I have lost it. Oh my god.
So we're left with a 1 in ambiance, a 3 in setting, a 3 in food, and a 7 in charm.
Sometimes you just hit it off.
You charming motherfuckers.
Oh, dear.
We had no link before, so this date must be perfect. All categories must be 4 or above. Handily failed that.
Yeah, it's hard to have a good date when you don't know the person.
With someone you've never met, and then it gets interrupted by bears.
Yeah.
I think Frangelico Splendid just sort of storms off after the bears take the honey.
Too focused on being angry at his younger sibling than.
Yeah. Like, I don't think he has anything against Ewan, but, like, definitely
He's got some
angry
shit
with
to deal
Copeland the Younger.
Some family issues, you know.
Yeah, and also Ewan likes Frangelico, but isn't sure if he wants that kind of relationship with him. But he would be extremely delighted to talk about him to talk to him about bees later. So, I asked the final question: will I see Frangelico Splendid again?
I mean, probably,
It's a
but
small town.
not for a while.
Oh well.
Sad times for Ewan.
Damn.
Yeah, and I think what does Hogsley have to say about this outcome?
Oh my god! Okay, so you get Hogsley is suddenly nearer to you than they have been this whole time. I think you turn around and Hogsley's just there, staring deeply into your eyes. Makes like very intensely. I think their tusks have never looked sharper than in this moment. I think that they just like fix you with this gaze and make these like low, snuffly, rumbly noises, which you roughly understand to mean. Let me think of something now. Pupil, you have done well in the face of much adversity.
Oh shit, thanks. I tried really hard.
Oh, Ewan.
The most he has ever tried so far.
Like, yeah, literally Hogsley is like, this is the most effort I have ever seen you put into anything. And Pupil, I could not be prouder.
Ewan just kind of starts nodding like, hell yeah, this rules. I did the thing right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sweet.
Hogsley,
precious boy.
yeah. Yeah, I think Hogsley's just like, apply this to other areas of your life, Pupil.
Good.
And to reflect that, I think, Ewan picks up the skills apprenticeship, which is teach with ease. I think he can pass on these skills he's learned to the rest of the farm.
Of course. Yeah.
And also beef mediator, he can keep the peace now.
Do you take a link
Beef
with Angelica?
mediator.
Okay. So, the last thing we do is the game Roots Become a Tree. Time has passed. The farm is the farm is a consistent machine now, and not a grind. You've settled into a rhythm, and you're happy. Gather with your friends to talk about where the time has gone. This is the last game. Everyone plays. Go around the table, describe something that the town has taught you after living here, then describe something you remember about living in the city. Take turns asking each other questions. Each person asked is the next person to ask someone a question. Come up with your own or use the questions below. The game is over when everyone's been asked twice.
Should we shorten
Since we
this?
have like 6 minutes, yeah, maybe just one question each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to jump straight to the questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scrolling down. Oh, there we go.
I can start with a question.
Sure.
Sure.
Ewan, what's your greatest success here?
Oh man, my greatest success. How should I put this? Listen, this is kind of hard to translate from Hog, but there's like a thing me and Hogsley did at one point, which is we went out we went to that Center Island.
Uh-huh.
And there we found some pretty cool mushrooms that and then we came back and they were pretty fucking valuable. I like sold them for $300.
Each individual mushroom for $300?
No, the whole bunch.
Okay. Just had to ask.
Now, HB, you ask a question.
All right. Who should I ask? I would ask Roz, and I imagine this question comes on like a hot day, on like in the middle of basically hay season.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Roz's allergies at the wazoo.
Oh!
And you was like sitting
best.
around sweating, not really doing anything, and turns to Roz, who is presumably doing something.
Uh-huh.
Roz, I got a question for you.
Yeah? Shoot.
You had to guess, how much well could a wish well wish if a wish well could wish well?
At this he kind of just like sets the sickle to the side and just lays down in the ground. And puts his hat over his face. Just puts his trucker hat over his face. Also, speaking of which, he is wearing this shirt.
Oh my god, yes.
Which is the Bears shirt.
Perfect.
Who cares?
Okay. I guess Roz asks the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. I guess I can ask Ellery then. What's your most treasured memory? I think this is just on the porch, like while like the sun's going down and you're just sort of like sharing a drink while like the fireflies are out. And he just
Yeah.
shoots you this question.
Oh boy, good question. I think for Ellery, it would be a lot of things. I think they're like, look, it's a mix of the nights spent at Candace's house playing my hurdy-gurdy for people, and when I've been down by the dock fishing, but mostly just being able to build a life here with you guys. Yeah.
No.
Manny, what was the hardest part about living here?
Oh boy. I think for him, the hardest part about living here was like just fully moving on from his life in the city. I think that yeah, I think he was married before
Oh.
yeah, and divorced and then lived with y'all and is now here. And I think the hardest part about living here is like fully like accepting that and like moving on and like accepting support and help. I think those are the hardest parts. Okay, I have to ask a question.
Yeah,
Maple.
last question to Maple.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. What do you prefer, going to sleep or waking up?
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, when I was back in the city, it was going to sleep because usually after a day of work, I was completely drained. Not tired, just drained. Whereas here, I like waking up. I like waking up early. I like, you know, putting on a pot of coffee and sitting in the stone circle for a little while and kind of taking in life. And then, you know, tending to my pumpkin patch. And then, you know, get a lot of work done during the day. You call it a day early, and you get to spend the evening hanging out with all you guys. And then, you know, you go to bed and you can't wait for it to start over the next day.
Awesome.
I'm going to cry.
Well,
I'm going to cry.
thank you everyone for joining us playing Wishing Well. I have been Remus. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me on the internet at The Lost Larrikin. Joining me has been Carter.
Hi, I'm Carter. You can find me on Twitter at Dismal Orient. That's lowercase d, uppercase O.
Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily. You can find me just, you know, around.
Uh-huh.
HB.
Hello, I'm HB, and do I have anything to say here? I think we're running short on time, so we'll have to cut this.
And January.
Hello, I'm January. I use she, her, them pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at A Sweeter Potato. You can find the games that I've written. asweeterpotato.itch.io. Really quick, I count that we have made 7 links this game with Copeland,
hell yeah.
Candace, Maisel, Copeland, Hogsley, Maisel, and Sarah. And that means that I think I'm going to donate $5 for every link that we made this game. If you want to join me, or you want to do $1 or $2 or more, that'd be sick. All proceeds go to Native American Rights Fund. Let's go.
Let's
Donate.
go.
Awesome. Tune in for the next game, Fall of Magic, run by Hugh. Bye.
Wait.
Oh.
I just remember what I
Oh.
wanted to say.
Yeah.
The thing I wanted to shout out is that all cops are bastards and we should abolish borders.
Hell fucking yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
fuck yeah.
Bye.
Fuck yes.
Bye.
Bye.